It's alive! It's alive!
Okay, hello. I hope you are alive and well. How is everybody doing? I know the corners of my green screen are peeking out. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Who cares? Oh, I didn't put chat on screen. I mean, it's not going to be on there for very long anyway. Hey guys, what's going on? Ray and Sal, we got both of you here today. Nice. Hey, you know, we're getting everybody here. We're missing a handful of people, but hey, good to see you both. Thanks for joining, Sal. I'm glad to see you again. Yeah, and the new profile pictures, I can kind of see them. They look like little like chibi Funko Pop type characters. I don't know what they are. I don't know where they're from. I can't really. Hold on, I'm gonna bring them up to my big monitor. See if I can tell. I don't know. Sal, yours looks kind of like a chibi version of L from Death Note, but that's. I don't know if that's right. It's probably not, but that is where my mind goes for yours in particular. But that's what I know. That's an anime that I know very well. So. I chose them. Nice. Yeah, no, I like them. Of course I like them. Yeah, they're great. Okay, so anyway, we are gonna continue on with Higurashi when they cry. What is with my lighting here? It's the same lighting as always. What the heck? I don't know why it's being weird. Maybe that's it. Whatever. I'm not going to be on screen for very long anyway. It doesn't really matter. I think it's just a random drawing. I think the profile pictures. Yeah. Either way, yeah. No, of course I like them. They look great. The very anime for sure, and which is kind of fitting, I guess, for what we're doing. And there was a comment from shout out to I gotta pull it up now because I didn't have it on hand. Oops, not that. Witch of Pandemonium for suggesting that I go back and do the tips. If you guys remember that, here I'll go. I may as well pull them up so you guys can see. Right there. Oh, maybe not. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, so if you remember, I guess let me get back in there. There's those little extra points. Oh, wait. Can I just go to them? Because this would just start the chapter again. Oh, extra, probably. I think I did one. Yeah, these tips. So, Witch of Pandemonium suggested that I go back and do all of these. Oh my gosh. I got 2.5 pages of this shit. That's crazy. I don't remember how long the other one was. I don't think they were super long. But apparently they do give you some extra tidbits and background information that kind of helps explain some of the story, I suppose. So I will eventually go through these. I think we're going to go ahead and just continue with the chapters and try to get those finished for chapter 1 first. And once again, I don't have chat on screen. And why? Oh, it's like that. I was like, why is it like 4x3? It's not. That's the game. It's fine. Yeah, we'll finish the game proper, and then we'll probably just go through all these tips and stuff in one stream on their own. But yeah, so apparently they are worth going through. So I will do that eventually. I think we're so far into the story right now. I feel like it'd just be better to finish it as is at this point, and then go back. I think that's the best move. So I think that's just what we're gonna do, you know. But yeah, so I guess there's not much more to talk about. Not much more to say. I suppose let's we can probably just get into it. I guess maybe a bit of a recap. Where did we leave off? What happened? The girls, the particular Reina and Mion were acting super suspicious. Reina especially was being weird. She came to my house and lightly threatened me. She stood out. Yeah, if you remember, she stood outside my house in the rain window saying like I'm sorry over and over and over again, which was really creepy and weird. I don't know what the heck that was about. Sorry, but I can't say. No worries. Yeah, no, I totally understand. Thank you for coming by at least, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. No problem. Thanks, Al. See ya. Yeah, I think that was about it. Reina's being weird. I have a bat, Satoshi, who was Satoko's brother, got demoned away. And yeah, I think that's about. I think that's about it. There's not much else to talk about. Maybe she was saying I'm sorry because you broke her fingers. Yeah, that might be it. I mean, she had her fingers in my doorway and was trying to get in when I didn't want that. So it sounds more like her fault than mine. And that's what we're gonna stick with when the authorities are potentially involved. Anyway, getting me out of here, and I guess let's go. Let's get this started. Oh, before I guess hello, I left FNAF. Hi. Before I do get this started, it's just I gotta say hi to you first. Welcome. Good to see you. Hope you had a good week. Okay, and now we're gonna get into it. Ahem. Oh shoot! Sorry. It's been a week. I'm out of practice. I gotta get my stuff set up here a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, now we're going. Oh, maybe not. Actually, Jesus Christ. Sorry. I'm so. This is what happens when I take an entire week to come back and stream again. I need at least 2 times a week to stay on track here. Anyway. Okay. And for real this time now. Here we go. I guess I'd be lying if I said I didn't get any sleep. I tried to stay awake all night, but there were definitely gaps in my memory. I guess I kept nodding off and jerking awake in a panic all night. I spent all night hugging the metal bat and sat on top of the futon I used to barricade my door. Waiting, watching just in case someone tried to break in through my window. If I left this spot, someone would break through the door, sending the futon flying and attack me. But if I stopped watching the window, someone would break in through the glass and then attack me. I tried telling myself I was just being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. The thought of being so vulnerable scared the living daylights out of me. If sleep meant Jesus. If sleep meant taking that risk, I didn't need it. It was so much better just to stay awake. At some point during that endless cycle of nodding off and jolting awake, light began to shine outside, but that was it. It wasn't so much the morning as it was just the sun simply having risen. I snuck a peek out through the curtains. Reina was gone. I couldn't see her anywhere, no matter how hard I looked. Finally, I could breathe a deep sigh of relief. The night was finally over. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tired, but I didn't feel like sleeping at the moment. I still had time. But I needed to make my own breakfast, so I'd better get started soon. Skipping school was also an option. With my mom gone, it'd be easy to play hooky. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable. So staying holed up in here was probably my safest option. But staying here wouldn't solve anything. Uishi-san wouldn't help me without cold, hard evidence. Neither he nor my parents. So unless I found some sort of proof, these relentless nights would never end. I stretched my body, tilted my head back, and closed my eyes just like I did every morning. I regulated my breathing and regained my senses. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. Let's go to school. Let's wait until they set their trap for me. But that didn't mean I was going to twiddle my thumbs. I needed to avoid that trap and secure irrefutable evidence. Take note of the plates of any car that drives by. If I see someone suspicious, check their clothes and face. I wasn't just protecting myself. I was preparing myself to turn their attack against them and retaliate. The tension was similar to when two samurai were both aiming to slay each other with a single motion as they drew their katanas. I was not at a disadvantage. I would have a chance to retaliate. I finally felt a bit of courage growing in my chest. All right, let's go to school. I tightened my grip on Satoshi's bat. He was the only partner I could count on. Satoshi, please lend me your strength, and entrust your dying regrets to me, since you were probably murdered. I'll make sure I dispel them. With renewed resolve, I checked the clock. It was still early. Of course, I was going to school by myself today. If I didn't want to run into Reina or Mion, I needed to leave now. The shattered fragments of the cupboard were still strewn all over the entryway. Right. I meant to clean that up last night, but never got around to it with the phone call and everything. If my parents came back and saw this while I was at school, I would never hear the end of it. Still, I'd be wasting time if I cleaned it up right now, and considering what would happen if I ran into Reina or Mion, it wouldn't be too late to clean it up after I got back home. Making extra certain that the doors were Making extra certain that the doors were locked, I left the house. My uniform was still covered in mud from yesterday, so I left it in the washer. Today I was going to go to school in a tracksuit. By wearing a different outfit this morning, my mind was forced to accept that today was different from yesterday. I had a hunch. Today might be the day I get killed. Keep your guard up, Keiichi Maebara. The only one who gets to decide if today is my last is me. Hey, Witch of Pandemonium, hello. I gave you a shout out earlier. By the way, I will do the tips as you suggested. I'm glad you could make it to a live, though. I'm going to go through the first chapter. I mean, we're probably super close to the end of this anyway, so that's the current plan, just so you're aware. I will go through the tips, probably just in their own sort of stream, and maybe we'll try connecting some of that stuff together whenever I get around to that. But hello, welcome. Thanks for coming. I also see you said you can't stay, but no, yeah, no worries. No worries. Thanks for at least coming in and saying hi. Appreciate it. Anyway, I spent the morning practicing my swing like I was in my natural routine. After a while, Reina arrived at school. Our eyes met, but we said nothing. Reina said nothing about last night, as if it never happened. But I could see that those events were real by the wounds carved into her fingers. I just heard her telling Satoko and the others that the bandages were from hurting herself in the kitchen, though it wasn't like it bothered me. The details that Uishi-san shared about Reina's incident before her transfer played vividly in my mind. Now that I knew about it, I couldn't even dream of Reina as a cute, ideal girl.
K-John, I see you're still aiming for the Nationals.
It was Mion. I had already sensed her approach, so I wasn't that surprised. Hi, Mion. If you understand, then leave me alone. I'm busy practicing. I gave her a curt reply without my usual jokes. Then I gave the bat an even larger swing, tactfully keeping Mion from getting any closer.
Hey, K-John, take it easy.
I think Mion got the message, but she still urged me to give it a rest. Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Just let me finish practicing. I swung the bat even harder as a sign of my refusal.
K-John, when did you get into baseball?
Just recently.
Recently? You mean yesterday?
Don't ask if you already know.
Oh dear, that's a very unsportsmanlike reply.
You're distracting me. Go away. I ignored Mion and kept swinging. Normally, she'd get mad or bored and leave if someone gave her the cold shoulder like this, but Mion just stood there, waiting patiently for me to stop swinging. I didn't sense any hostility, but we were at school in plain view. I doubt she'd suddenly attack me here. Or was that too naive? Still, I was starting to get tired. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to take a break and hear her out. You need me for something, right? What is it? Sweat poured from me as I stopped swinging. I noticed my shoulders were heaving as I breathed. I cursed my lack of exercise. At this rate, I might not be able to move as needed when the time came. I should probably keep practicing my swings to build stamina in addition to the excuse for carrying the bat around with me.
Well, it's nothing important. If you're tired, I can ask again later.
Now is fine. I'm only dealing with you right now because I judge this situation to be safe. Talking to you alone and away from others, that's out of the question.
Well,
Mion was uncharacteristically trying to choose her words. But unlike Uishi-san, it didn't look like she was going to talk about something I'd rather not hear. Mion was puzzled, trying to find the right thing to say. But then she gave a hearty laugh to break herself out of that mire.
This old man is just no good at this stuff. Having a poor vocabulary hurts.
What's this all of a sudden? If you have something to say, just say it.
Stop it. Stop that swinging.
She cut straight to the point. Her request was so frank, I didn't understand it for a moment. I had already stopped swinging to listen to her, hadn't I? I just stopped, didn't I?
That's not what I meant. I want today to be the last day you swing that bat. I'm sorry.
It took me some time to understand what she was asking for. What's wrong with swinging a bat? Why? It's none of your business, is it? I'm not bothering anyone, am I?
You are.
Mion said it flat out. This didn't make any sense and was really irritating. When did I bother anybody? Mion was at a loss for words, but she finally made up her mind and spoke, though she stuttered as she said it.
Because, Kei-chan, that's someone else's bat. You shouldn't borrow it without permission.
It was left behind by a student who transferred, right? I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it.
Huh? Yeah, he transferred.
Mion grew uncharacteristically flustered. That made it all too clear that this transfer was a lie. But strange, isn't it, for the older brother to transfer by himself, while his little sister stayed behind? Mion couldn't hide her reaction as my words shook her up.
Kei-chan, you knew?
Satoshi Hoju, Satoko's older brother, right? The one who demoned away last year? Unable to respond to that, Mion fell silent. Reina asked the same thing. Why did you start swinging the bat? She told me Satoshi did the same thing, practicing his swings right before he went missing. So, is this some kind of omen for Oyashiro-sama's curse?
Shh.
Mion panicked and looked around.
Please, Kei-chan, don't mention Oyashiro-sama so recklessly. I don't believe in him, but the others very much do. Reina especially.
Dangerously so?
Anyway, you're scaring everyone. If you're just fooling around, then stop it. You have to stop acting like Satoshi.
I was the one who was scared. Who do I have to thank for taking up this bat in the first place? But it still unsettled me knowing that my actions were overlapping with Satoshi's. It would be one thing if someone suggested it, but I thought I was making my own decisions. I'll say this now. I don't know anything about Satoshi. After all, you didn't tell me anything about him.
Well, we didn't mean to hide it.
You were hiding the incidents that happened every year, weren't you?
That's because we didn't want to,
You didn't want to scare me? That's your reason for leaving me out?
No, we didn't mean to.
Mion, I asked you directly if something happened at the dam, didn't I? And you told me nothing happened. When someone was dismembered and murdered, you lied to me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you.
Friends don't hide things from each other, right? Isn't that right? Then you all aren't my friends.
Kei-chan,
Mion looked helpless and flustered. Was I imagining the tears in her eyes? I never could have imagined Mion acting like this. Oh, by the way, those get well mochi you brought the other day? They were good. I thought I was going to bleed. Who did it? You or Reina? She admitted it so easily. I couldn't help but be surprised at how easy that was. You could have killed me. How could you do that to a friend?
But it was just a little prank.
Mion gave me a wry smile mixed with confusion, causing even more anger to well up inside me. You think that was a prank? I grabbed Mion by the collar and lifted her up. That wasn't the same as putting Tabasco sauce in a piece of mochi. It was a needle, a sewing needle. If I had swallowed that and it lodged in my throat, what did she think would happen? Mion's face froze as her body rattled in fear. This wasn't the Mion Sonozaki I knew anymore. Anyways, you're not my friend. There's no reason for me to listen to someone who's not my friend. So just leave me alone for a while. Got it? Mion wasn't replying anymore. It won't be that easy to erase me, you know. The cops have been on to you from the start. You don't think you can make me disappear like you did Satoshi? I said it clearly. This was my declaration of war. I think you guys are suspects in the previous incidents too. I also know you've spent a lot of time with the cops ever since that anti-dam movement. Don't think you can hide it from me. Got that?
How did you know?
Mion stood there with a dumbstruck look on her face. That was when I heard the principal ringing the bell for school. It was time for morning homeroom. Let's go. The class representative needs to be there, right? At that moment, for the first time, I realized Mion was sobbing as tears ran down her cheeks.
You're so mean, Kei-chan.
I wanted to console her, but I shut my mouth. I had no need to feel guilty. I'm going. Don't be late for homeroom. I left Mion, still shaking as I turned around and to head for the entrance. I had no idea how troubling it was to make a girl cry. Behind my back, I could hear her muttering. It was a faint mutter as she was speaking to herself.
So that's how it is.
Huh? She wasn't saying it to anyone. It was Mion talking to herself, but it was a sobbing voice that had a kind of giddy, cursing tone. I inadvertently stopped and turned back towards her.
So it was that bastard. He leaked it all to Kei-chan.
She balled up her fists as her tears continued to rain down. She glared at a spot at the ground with a terrifying yet smiling face, cursing. A chill ran down my spine from that demonic expression. This transformation, Mion's transformation, was different from Reina's.
I should have killed him back then. He forgot the mercy I showed him just because he was going to retire this year.
Retiring this year? Was she talking about Uishi-san?
Damn it. Damn it, I'm gonna kill that damn old man. No.
It felt like the air itself had begun distorting. With Mion at the center, the world had begun to twist and spiral, bending, whirling. This was the first time I'd experienced such a visage. Okay, I'm gonna take a second to kind of. Those eyes freaked me out. Not gonna lie. Those eyes freaked me the fuck out. Okay. Whoa. I wasn't expecting that. Oh god. I'm just trying to scroll through chat and this comes up. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Hi Charlie, I didn't get to say hi to you. Good to see you. Glad you could be here. Sup, buddy? I'm going all the way back up. Renee broke, I figured. The tips are normally meant to be viewed when you unlock them, so keep that in mind for Arc 2. Yeah, okay, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense, though. It's a good thing there are 8 chapters and we're only on 1. Getting that out of the way. I feel like this first chapter is going to be more of that sort of figuring things out, getting all the voices together, and it's more of a trial than anything. So yeah, thank you again for letting me know, because I was super iffy on whether those would be worth it or not, but apparently they're pretty good. I understood nothing about these episodes, so I always go away so soon. It's okay. I mean, I love FNAF. It's okay. No worries. You can make it, and that's great. I changed my mind, so I'm gonna fail my pre-finals. Higurashi reigns supreme. Nice. don't fail your pre-finals. This will be a VOD. You can pick up on it later if you need to. You know, I appreciate you being here, but you know, school's important. You gotta do the works and the smartses and whatnot. Hello, green hair lady. My friends are spamming on what's it. Block them. God, that's so sad when you know the background. Someone played Despacito. Delay in the mood. I mean, I don't know anyone. Yeah, we're pretty far in to this story, if that's what you're referring to. I do like that all the time, but it's not big. Knew this was coming. Still made me jump. Oh, when I said shh for like neon? Yeah. It probably sounded really weird, huh? With the voice changer. I mean, I'm not a kid, but I used to be. Oh, yeah, okay, I see. You sure about that? You didn't come out of the womb 20-something-year-old? I feel like that. What did he think would happen? I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to there. Because people... somebody's called me an SMB. Oh, are you talking about the origin of your name? Interesting. I don't know. I was kind of skipping chats that had added other people because that's your conversations. What a Dancer 7 moment. I don't know what that means. I might be out of the loop there. Anyone here know the story? Am I the only one? I think you might be the only one. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. The eyes. What a classic. I'd never seen that image before. Was not expecting it. Why am I staring at cat eyes? Because that's what the game wanted us to see in that moment. It was creepy. Cats are cute. That's not a cat. Fair enough. Actually, and this is pineapple, but in Italian, and I'm from Italy. Oh, okay. Pineapple. You're from Italy, so pineapples, my immediately thought goes to pizza. Of course, as it usually would, and you are from Italy, the pizza capital of the world, so I'm sure you probably have opinions, huh? The cat ruined my whole existence. It was super creepy. It was crazy. First chapter sure is a prologue. Huh? Also, I'm still mad about the voices. Rika's voice actor is my favorite VA of all time. Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying now. I don't know that name. Yeah, I wanted to do the voices myself, though. I'm sorry. I am gonna continue doing that. It's just, yeah, it's more fun for me to do it this way. So I'm sorry, Witch. I'm gonna have to. I don't have any plans to change that. I apologize if that ruins your experience in no way. But yeah, the first chapter is a prologue. That's a very interesting thing to say. So I feel like there's yeah. Because it feels like it's coming to like a conclusion within like the next little bit. You know, it feels like it's kind of, what is it, like rising action, falling action kind of thing. So that's interesting that it's more of a prologue than anything. Also, I'm learning Japanese. Awesome. Do it. I know some Japanese. I tried learning. I know some phrases and stuff, but and some like sentence structure type things, but not a ton. Wait, is the game chat still going? No. Yeah, that's me scrolling. I'm scrolling through chat, so I can read all your guys' chats, but it's also like still clicked into the game. So when I scroll, it does this. I want to go under my friend's house. What? Why is that? To scare them? That'd be fun. Make like rat noises or monster noises even. They're talking in the group chat. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what you're talking about. The people talking are just two. Oh no, you're okay. No, I left FNAF. You're having your own conversation. I got you. I know that name. She's a voice actress. That's all I know. That one person that Witch had mentioned. The When They Cry universe is such a big rabbit hole if you let it. I spent 7,000 hours on the series in the past 4 years. Jeez. Nice. I knew it was a good one. I've been wanting to, you've been spending all that time in 4 years. I've been wanting to play this game for like 4 years. Even longer. No, it's been longer than that. I've been wanting to play this game for even longer than 4. It's probably been like 6. It's been probably more like 6-7 years since I found out about this and wanted to play it. So, yeah, awesome. 7,000 hours worth. Damn. I hope everything gets answered eventually. I guess don't tell me. No spoilers, but mostly trying to study cosmology. Interesting. That's really cool. Yeah, no. Go do the school stuff. do the school, get the school, do the smarts. No, it's really cool. Again, this is a VOD. It'll be here forever as long as YouTube doesn't take it down for some freaking reason. So yeah, you can watch it anytime. You know, prioritize a little bit if you need to. It's totally fine. I first saw Higurashi when I was 12. Dang. I first knew about it when I was, well, you know what? Never. I'm not gonna date myself. I'm not gonna let you know exactly what my age is by giving you hints like that. Some of you might already know, but you know, we're just not asking you. I'm not talking to you. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick drink here, and we'll get back into it. Okay. Oh, I should be on Mion.
Oops. Eyes, attention.
Mion made up an excuse for her red eyes by saying that there was something wrong with her contacts. After that, neither Reina nor Mion spoke to me for the rest of the day. Neither Satoko nor Rika-chan looked at me in the eye. Strangely, I didn't feel hurt. Everything had just went back to the way it was. The month since I transferred in had been almost too much fun. That was all. School was supposed to be something like this to begin with. I should have disliked that feeling, but today it was oddly refreshing. The bell rung, sounding the end of the monotonous school day, which had felt so tense yet so dull. Since it would cause a lot of unpleasant memories if they asked me to join in the club activities, I promptly started preparing to go home without even looking at them. I stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag, wrapped my hand around Satoshi's now familiar bat, and began heading towards the entrance. I was assailed by both the exhausting relief that nothing had happened today and the tiring responsibility of the same thing repeating tomorrow. But deep down inside me, far beneath in the recesses of my heart, achingly I knew this would be the last day of this cycle. I couldn't tell how the ending would be, whether it would end as I wished it to end, or if it would end as I hoped it wouldn't. Regardless, in my current state, there was something more important than how things would end. There was something I wanted to know. Why did I have to be killed? How did it come to this? Why? For what purpose? The sunlight was relentless. The sun, the heat, even the air. They wouldn't give me my answers. Or could it be that the cries of the Higurashi were desperately trying to tell me something? Somewhere, mixed in with their shrieks, Tometake-san and Satoshi were also probably trying to tell me something. I simply haven't been able to realize it yet. When I do realize it, I wonder if I will be amongst the Higurashi fruitlessly crying to the next victim. Glancing down at my feet, I saw a Higurashi on its back, spasming weakly. There was still much of the summer left, yet this one was already chirping its last song. I couldn't tell what it was saying, no matter how hard I listened. But I had to try. I had to try to listen to what it was desperately trying to tell me. At that moment, the shrills of the Higurashi ceased all at once, as if they had huddled together, fearing that the person who'd brought them to their dreadful fate had arrived. There was no mistaking it. A presence was approaching. The sound of footsteps was almost non-existent. If the Higurashi hadn't warned me by ending their chirping, I wouldn't have noticed. My exhaustion left me in a heartbeat. In its place was a rush of adrenaline that sharpened all of my senses. I was just barely able to hold back the creeping, suffocating feeling of horror. It wasn't something I could hold back for long. But in this moment when I needed that to be razor sharp, I was able to retain my composure. I wasn't going to shout like I did yesterday. I hid myself calmly amongst the trees, waiting for my pursuer's shadow. Could I get them to pass by me? No, since I was able to hear their footsteps, they were probably also able to hear mine. They might have already been able to tell that I'd hidden myself and was holding my breath. The person tailing me, was it Reyna, just like yesterday? If it was Reyna, I wouldn't look back. I could just yell at her and make her go ahead like yesterday. If it wasn't Reyna, it would depend on how they acted, I guess. The footsteps ambled closer. I swallowed, wiped my clammy hands on my pants, and readjusted the grip on the bat. I could tell that the fear that I had beaten back once was now waiting for another opening to come at me. Who could it be? I peeked out from behind the tree at the person following me. My imagination hadn't led me astray. It was Reyna. There was a bit of relief as I realized it was someone I knew, but that feeling left me in an instant. This wasn't the same Reyna that I knew. Her eyes were dark and lifeless, but her mouth appeared as if it was carved into a crescent. Yeah, it looked like she was grinning slightly. And in her right hand was a hatchet. I hid myself behind the tree once again and recalled the unbelievable sight I just saw. What was that just now? The embodiment of terror laid bare. Baseball practicing my swing, there was tons of excuses for me to be carrying a bat, but for that hatchet, there was no excuse for that. A hatchet, just like that?
Keiichi-kun, are you playing hide and seek, I wonder?
My heart was pounding, hard enough that I had trouble breathing. What little composure I had been able to hold on to was now crushed. In its place, cold sweat gushed forth, covering my entire body, letting me know precisely what kind of emotion had taken hold. Not good, not good, not good. I wasn't able to hide myself completely. She already knew I was here.
Were you trying to scare me, I wonder?
I decided that it would be better to reveal myself now, since there was still space between us, than allow Reyna to come any closer. I adjusted my grip on the bat, again, readied myself mentally, and stepped out from behind the tree.
I found you, Keiichi.
Reyna was pleased that she found me, eliciting a mysterious giggle. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes told me she was displeased by the fact I had been hiding. Those eyes, they were just so empty. My legs began to quiver. Not good. In the pit of my stomach, some sort of viscous, hot, and cold substance began spreading around. If I allowed it, that substance would slip into my bloodstream and undoubtedly freeze all the organs in my body. Not good, not good. I'll be devoured by Reyna at this rate. Strike back. Don't lose. What is it? I blustered, hiding behind my bravado, but Reyna didn't flinch one bit.
Just the same as Keiichi-kun. I'm heading home.
Then what about that hatchet?
Then what about that bat you're holding?
I'm practicing my swing.
Then I'm treasure hunting.
Reyna gave a flippant explanation as to why she had such a fearsome weapon. Treasure hunting?
At the treasure mountain near the dam site, I found a new cute thing, so I needed this to dig it out.
How could I believe that?
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Reyna's laugh was obviously very strange. I'd seen Reyna's transformation many times before, but this one today was completely different. Like her mischievous tone and the shrewd glint in her eyes. It wasn't something like roundabout. It wasn't something that roundabout. I'm not sure what to say. It was just so obvious.
Wait, Keiichi-kun?
Reyna didn't stop walking, even as she let out that eerie laugh. Whenever Reyna got too close to me, I would scurry away and turn back towards her. This cycle repeated over and over. No matter how you looked at it, I was being chased by Reyna and was trying to escape. Don't follow me!
I can't do that. My house is this way after all.
When I met with Reyna on this road yesterday, she cowered and trembled as she followed my commands. But today was different. Reyna didn't show a hint of trepidation. Actually, wasn't I the one who was cowering? If the way home for Reyna and me was the same, that's fine. I'd just change my route. That'd work out, wouldn't it? I turned onto a side street I'd never been down and knew little about. But Reyna saw me do that and followed me while laughing. Why? Why? Aren't you going home? Then just go. Aren't you going home? Then just go home the street you normally do. Why would you follow me down this weird little side road? Those thoughts screamed in my head, eventually spilling out of my mouth. Oh, why are you following me? The tone of my voice was already tinged with terror.
Because I want to talk to Keiichi-kun. Keiichi-kun wants to talk to Reyna too, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
I don't want to talk about anything with you.
That's a lie, isn't it? There's something you want to ask me about, isn't there?
Not at all. I have nothing to talk to you about.
That's a lie, isn't it?
It's not a lie.
Lies.
Reyna's scream echoed, startling some nearby birds into flight. I cringed in fear. The only thing I could do was increase my pace.
Let's talk, Keiichi-kun. Talk.
Why was I running down this unfamiliar and deserted street?
Doesn't Keiichi-kun have something he's worried about?
Nothing at all. I'm not worried about anything.
Lies.
Even though I was running, even though Reyna was walking, why wasn't I getting any further away?
I know. I really do know. You're scared, aren't you, Keiichi-kun?
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything.
Lies.
My breathing grew heavy, and it felt like my legs were giving out from beneath me. Reyna wasn't even breaking a sweat.
I'll listen. This time I'll listen.
I had no idea what she was talking about, or what exactly she wanted to do.
This time I'll listen. It will be different from the time with Satoshi-kun.
When she said Satoshi's name, I turned back for a moment. But even as I did that, Reina was still advancing. I couldn't afford to stop.
Satoshi-kun was worried too. It looked like he was having such a hard time, but I didn't listen. I was so sad.
Where did this street connect to? All these twists and turns, ups and downs. It was hard to believe that this was even remotely in the direction towards my house. My sense of direction had long since gone out the window.
I really regretted it when Satoshi-kun transferred out. I thought that if I had listened, he may not have transferred out. I really regretted that.
The road led me deeper into the forest. I wasn't getting any further away from the village more than I ran. The more I ran... Oh, wasn't I getting... I read that's completely wrong, sorry. Wasn't I getting farther away from the village more than I ran? The more I ran... Damn it. Sorry. I'm going to take that line one more time. That is not very good. Wasn't I getting farther away from the village the more I ran? I lost more and more of my composure the more I thought about it. But despite this realization, my inner self was still disturbingly calm.
So you see, I vowed. I vowed that if there was someone struggling like Satoshi-kun did, I'd save them. I don't want to see anyone transfer out again.
Damn it. What does transfer even mean? I won't let you transfer me. I won't end up like Satoshi.
Come on, Keiichi-kun. Talk to me. I'll be able to understand you, Keiichi-kun. I'm your ally.
I started wheezing, out of breath. My lungs were so hot that they felt like they were going to explode, and my heart was beating as hard as it possibly could. I should have practiced running instead of my swing. I couldn't even afford to scoff at that stupid thought.
If Keiichi-kun doesn't have anything to worry about, he'll go back to normal. Everyone will be back and being friends, and we can enjoy club activities again. Next time, we'll team up and beat Mi-chan.
Yeah, how much fun would that be? Reina couldn't even imagine how much I had wished I could turn back the clock on the past few days.
You could be nice to me again, too. I want to go searching for treasure again. This time I'll prepare a nice lunch. Actually, we could just go right now. Let's go to the dam site together. I'll show you the cute thing I just found. I'm sure you'll like it, too.
My footsteps made pathetic flapping sounds as my legs wobbled and faltered. Hot on my heels, Reina's steps were sharply breaking twigs underfoot. I had to accept it. I was on the run, being chased by Reina. If she caught me, it was all over. I realized it instinctively. I couldn't even begin to think of what the end would entail. Just that if I was caught, it was all over. That's all I knew. It didn't matter how it was going to end. I wouldn't let it end. Not without knowing anything. Not yet. That momentary lapse was all it took. Of all the things that could have happened, my knees buckled underneath me and I crumbled towards the ground. I tried to stand frantically, urging my legs to respond. I used my bat as a makeshift cane to prop myself up, but Reina was already standing right in front of me. Compared to me, out of breath and utterly exhausted, Reina was so cool and composed that she could have froze the air around her. She wasn't breathing hard at all, rather, I couldn't even sense if her heart was beating.
Are you afraid of something, I wonder? It's not like you tremble, Keiichi-kun.
Her expression looked almost affectionate. Those soulless eyes, that mask of affection. As she admonished me for trembling, Reina's hands deftly slipped over her head. The blur of arms as they moved made me feel as if I was staring at the godliness of the thousand-armed Buddha. Then, as both of her hands met above her head, the hatchet that she held came into focus. I stared up at it in disbelief. That it was all I could do. Tell me, what happened to Satoshi? Reina stayed like that, with that hatchet raised above her head, and solemnly opened her mouth. It was as if she was expressing a farewell to a friend she was never going to see again. That cruel scenario resided somewhere in her actions.
I told you. Satoshi-kun transferred out.
Enough of that transfer crap. It means demoned away, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You can tell me now, can't you? Who made Satoshi disappear? Was it you? Mion? Or someone in the village? Answer me! I became frantic the more I screamed, but Reina did nothing but maintain the smile frozen on her face.
I have no idea what Keiichi-kun is talking about.
Then I'll say it in a way so you do. Who is the perpetrator of this chain of mysterious deaths?
You seem to be confused, Keiichi-kun.
What?
There is no human perpetrator. Everything is by Oyashiro-sama's will.
Isn't Oyashiro-sama's curse just superstition? You believe in that too?
It's not about believing or not. Oyashiro-sama exists. Period.
Reina's gaze grew even more gelid. The ferocity of her stare was so intense, not allowing me to question anything. There's just no way that something like Oyashiro-sama could exist.
You don't believe in Oyashiro-sama?
There's no way I could believe it. There's no way it could exist.
It exists. Oyashiro-sama exists. Keiichi-kun should have felt it personally.
I never felt something like that.
Keiichi-kun, haven't you felt someone apologizing to you before? Constantly, on top of that?
All the noise from the outside world disappeared. Only Reina's voice resounded loudly and terribly.
You see, until you forgive them, they'll always be with you. At school, at home, at your bedside.
I couldn't understand what Reina was saying.
It came to me too. Oyashiro-sama did. That's why I transferred and came back to Hinamizawa.
I don't understand. I don't understand. What does transfer even mean? What was Reina saying?
Hasn't Oyashiro-sama come to you as well, Keiichi-kun? I'm probably the only one who can confide in. I'm probably the only one who you can confide in. I won't let you transfer out, okay?
Reina's demented laughter clanged around inside my head. Was Reina saying Oyashiro-sama came to her as well? That's right. Last night I had heard about that when I asked about Reina.
Please, keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested?
Uishi-san began speaking.
Neither the victims nor the school filed a complaint, so there's no preliminary report. Basically, the police hadn't intervened in this matter. So all of these details are just what I heard from those involved. Meaning it's not that credible.
You said there were victims? Didn't Reina just break all the windows?
No, Reina Ryugu had attacked 3 boys, using a metal bat. 2 of them made it out with only bruises, but the other had been injured so badly that one of his eyes was permanently damaged.
Wouldn't that be considered assault? Shouldn't the police have arrested her?
For whatever reason, the victim never pressed charges. There was no report to the police, so...
They were beaten with a bat and suffered significant injuries. Normally there would be a criminal investigation, but why? Didn't they press charges?
I tried asking the 3 male victims for their side of the story, but they all were reluctant. It's hard to say, but they were all afraid, even after she had transferred schools.
Uishi-san, could you summarize it starting from the beginning? Reina hit people while she broke the windows, or was it she started breaking the windows after she got bored of hitting people? They sounded similar, but the meanings were drastically different.
On an undisclosed date, Reina Ryugu was conversing with 3 male students, close friends of hers, near the pool storage shed.
Who were those 3?
I can't reveal their names, but they were close to Reina Ryugu, and it seems they were a group of friends. She was the lone girl in the group.
So it wasn't that strange that the 4 of them were together. So what happened?
I don't know the reason why. She took the baseball team's bat that was in the pool storage shed and beat the 3 of them down, one after the other.
What? There are no witnesses? This is an account pieced together by the information given at the time of the incident. One day after school, Reina and 3 male students were at the pool storage shed talking together. They weren't seeking help, rather they usually met up there. It appears it became a heated discussion. At that time, Reina underwent a change. The change was so abrupt that the 3 of them didn't comprehend what was happening. Then, taking the metal bat, she attacked her friends, one after the other. Leaving her friends covered in blood with gashes on their heads, she made her way towards the school building. Then she broke the glass windows, one after the other. A few minutes later, a teacher appeared on scene and subdued her. What was this change Reina underwent?
What matches up in the statements from the 3 was a sudden change. The point that there was a transformation.
Transformation? I also could recall Reina's transformation. I'd seen that change many times before. It was so different from the usual Reina that I couldn't help but believe it was someone else who looked like Reina. That transformation you're talking about, had it happened before?
No, there was nothing like that. As far as I could find out in her medical history and past, there was nothing like that.
Does that happen often, where people just change suddenly like Reina did?
Of course it does. There's plenty of psychological phenomena that could cause something like that.
Then, you're saying there was a dormant element in Reina that caused that transformation?
I cannot say for certain, but according to the statements of her friends, it's hard to believe she had such a side of her.
Kind, caring, adorable. Even before she transferred here, she was probably pretty popular in school like she was now. That girl transforming suddenly and assaulting them with a bat. Who could imagine such a thing? Nobody could have seen it coming. I myself sometimes believe that it was mistaken for thinking that I myself sometimes believe that I was mistaken for thinking that Reina, even now. Then what happened after that?
There was a hospital right across from the school, so the three of them were carried in and treated quickly.
What about Reina? What about the police? Why wasn't there a criminal investigation?
You see, the police can't get involved unless they're called.
Even though one was badly injured with permanent damage? Why didn't they file charges?
That's what caught my attention as well. Either some threat or pressure was placed on them, or they had a reason they couldn't file charges even if they wanted to.
We're talking about you after all. Of course, you looked into it, didn't you?
Well, yeah. But I told you at the beginning, didn't I? That the victims were all very reluctant to talk. They didn't want to touch on the matter. Or rather, they didn't want to be involved.
Reluctant to talk. Didn't want to touch it. Didn't want to be involved. It resembled the villagers here and Oyashiro-sama's curse. Did the teacher at the school tell you anything?
A school is hallowed ground. You could say they tend to keep scandals under wraps. I didn't have a search warrant, so I had to tread lightly, you see.
Then there was no comment from the school.
No, they denied the incident ever happened. It's just 3 male students were carried in for blunt force trauma that day. That's all there was in the hospital records.
The victims didn't speak, the school denied it happened, then you don't know anything at all.
Yeah, I know nothing other than the incident itself had taken place. The victims also wish this incident to be kept from the public. So if you and I both forget it, Maebara-san, this incident will probably just fade away.
For a brief period, we sat in silence. At first glance, it looked like a simple assault case, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. The depths were obscured by roiling waves, sinking quietly into the void, as if it never existed to begin with.
After that, she was suspended by the school, and during that time, she underwent psychiatric counseling.
Did you hear anything from that doctor?
Again, they were very professional in regards to their ethics, or at least very tight-lipped.
Nothing even after you showed them your badge?
I was told to get a warrant. The badge itself has no legally binding authority after all.
Then how did you know that Reina confessed that it was Oyashiro-sama who did it?
There was a nurse I asked in that department. She agreed to help me just from showing her my badge.
Then what did she say? Turns out that the nurse hadn't heard everything. Apparently, all that she remembered was what she overheard from inside the room.
The nurse said that at the time, Reina Ryugu was very calm and mild-mannered.
It was more like she was confessing her sins at church than a counseling session. She spoke with her mother there for some of it, but partway through, her mother was asked to leave, so it became a private counseling session between just the doctor and Reina for a while. The part of Oyashiro-sama, when did that pop up?
Partway through. She screamed the name suddenly. That startled the nurse, and that's why she started listening in.
It was Oyashiro-sama.
Reina suddenly shouted that. I had no idea what was said before that, so I had no idea what the meaning behind it could have been. The doctor, calmly and collectedly, asked Reina to have a seat. What is this Oyashiro-sama you speak of? Gently, ever so gently, A fundamental part of counseling is to be a good, patient listener.
Whoever abandons Hinamizawa will be hunted down by Oyashiro-sama, and it's finally gotten to me.
That's the town you lived in before you moved here, isn't that right, Ryugu-san?
I didn't want to move, but because of my mom and dad's circumstances, we had to. But Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow it.
Ryugu-san must have lots of friends in Hinamizawa. Even now, you must be missing them dearly, don't you think?
I want to go back to Hinamizawa. No, it's not that I want to go back. I have to go back. I should have gone back much sooner. But now it's too late. Oyashiro-sama has come.
Oyashiro-sama is the name of the god in Hinamizawa, is that right?
Everyone knows. It's Hinamizawa's guardian deity. And if you ever try abandoning Hinamizawa by leaving, you'll incur its wrath.
You had moved quite a while ago, didn't you? Then it was just now that this god has arrived. Is that what you're saying?
You might not believe me, but Oyashiro-sama exists.
The nurse was then asked by another nurse to do something and left the room. That was all she remembered. That it was Oyashiro-sama's doing, right?
I do believe that there is that kind of superstition in Hinamizawa. That if you leave the village, then you incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. You should be familiar with this part, Maebara-san.
I knew very well what those scorned by the village incurred. To hinder the dam construction project, they cursed the construction foreman to his death. Then, the following year, Satoko's parents, supporters and leading advocates for the dam, were cursed to their death. But this was the first time I've heard of the curse incurred by leaving the village. This was my first time hearing that. I can't understand outside threats being cursed by the... I can understand outside threats being cursed by the village, but why also villagers who leave? Normally, people who leave villages aren't supposed to be cursed, right? I know it's a bit strange to say it, but I could see it as a rule that the people who come in are the ones who would be cursed. Far from Jupiter, far from his thunder. Curses weren't something to chase after people that leave, were they? Uishi-san pondered for a bit over on the other end of the receiver, then began speaking again.
Well, I told you of long ago when Hinamizawa was called Onigafuchi, didn't I?
I recalled hearing that. Long ago, Hinamizawa was feared and respected as the village of demons.
The villagers at the foot of the mountains worship the demons, so Onigafuchi was hallowed ground that you could never enter. Came to be said that if you entered carelessly, you were cursed by Oyashiro-sama.
Those who set foot in Onigafuchi, in other words, Hinamizawa, would be cursed. I could understand that. I know that, but for leaving to also be no good, that's...
Also the demons, you see. They were being strictly watched by Oyashiro-sama, so they would not enter into our world. In other words, Oyashiro-sama probably restricted interaction between Onigafuchi and the rest of the world.
I see. I finally understood what sort of thing Oyashiro-sama was. So basically, Oyashiro-sama is more like a warden than a protectorate deity, I guess. Trying to keep this place isolated from the rest of the world.
I guess that's how it would seem. I'm sorry, I don't know very much myself. This is mostly what was passed on to me from my mother.
I could understand it if it was like that. Those who came to Hinamizawa would be cursed, and those who tried to leave would also be cursed. So, because Reina originally lived in Hinamizawa and moved away, she fulfilled the requirements for being cursed. So that means because Reina moved away against its wishes, she was cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Is that what it adds up to?
In short, that seems to be what it points to, I guess. As a matter of fact, soon afterwards, they did move back to Hinamizawa, after all.
Those who abandoned Hinamizawa and left were cursed. But then, why only Reina? Shouldn't Reina's parents have been guilty of the same transgression by moving away and have been cursed? Also, in this day and age in Japan, shouldn't there be a lot of people coming and going? Every single one of them was cursed. If every single one of them was cursed, then it'd be insane. But in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal at all. At most, there would be one person dying and one disappearing on the day of the Watanagashi. I don't like saying at most, though.
Well, anyways, there's a lot I still don't know. Even if it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, it doesn't explain Reina beating her classmates with a metal bat, or why the victims wouldn't press charges. You don't think the victims were cowering because they believed that a terrible curse had befallen them, do you?
Of course I didn't want to believe it. But more importantly, I had just realized something else. There was another bizarre connection that Reina made between Oyashiro-sama's curse and metal bats. Satoshi fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse and went missing. I had recently learned that Satoshi had also become infatuated with the metal bat right before he disappeared, just like me. Then Reina as well. She was affected by Oyashiro-sama's curse. She confessed that much to the doctor. And the weapon which she had used at the time of the horrendous act was, again, a metal bat. And finally, me. I'd encountered various things that were inexplicable, and now I was holding on to a metal bat. I was shocked when I learned that Satoshi did the same thing. It couldn't be. Had the same thing happened to Reina? But there was one critical difference between her and Satoshi's case. That being, Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse, but Reina was still here. Both of them had fallen victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse, yet they were met with different endings. And finally, me. I couldn't call it a coincidence anymore. Reina, Satoshi, and finally, me. Could it be that I really was under Oyashiro-sama's curse right now? No, more importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi had been demoned away, vanishing without a trace. Reina was fine. Fine? Reina had undergone a change. I could only believe that there was something that wasn't Reina residing within her. And here, right now, it was standing before me. Reina, please tell me, what will happen to me? Reina stood imposingly, not answering. Satoshi disappeared, but Reina didn't disappear. So what will happen to me? I had never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. It had become akin to the sound of her breathing. It was no longer a voice or an expression of feeling.
Don't worry. I'll save you.
Reina took one step forward, still holding the hatchet high above her head.
Now then.
One step closer. Reina's face spread out to fill my vision.
Speak.
One step closer. Reina's nose was close enough to touch mine, and was still pushing closer.
There's something you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen. I'll save you, okay? Speak, okay? Speak, okay?
I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It was all I could do to get as far away from Reina. I had the gut feeling that I couldn't let her laughter end, because when that laughter ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved by instinct. I sprang to my feet as fast as I could. I couldn't believe it, and I pushed Reina away with both hands. Reina was as light as a feather. Thrown about by the unbalanced weight of the hatchet, she was sent backwards as if she had been carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed off at full speed. I was the perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig. Get away from Reina. Run away. Survive. I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, I remembered I'd been holding on to a bat the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. I couldn't believe I'd forgotten about this weapon at such an important time. I sped even further down the winding path. I didn't even feel myself gasping for breath or my legs getting heavy. My body understood it as well. If I didn't run away from here, I wouldn't live. I could hear the laughter of that simulacrum of Reina coming from behind me. It rang through the trees and in my head, and slowly chiseled away at my sanity. The grove of trees thinned out, my field of vision suddenly expanding. Where was this? For a moment, I was bewildered by the scenery. I felt I knew, but couldn't quite remember. I quickly realized it was the dam site. The fact that I dashed madly and ended up in a place like this gave me a bad feeling, like I was following someone's scripted plot. I had a good view of my surroundings, but I didn't see a single soul here. This was a terrible spot for someone on the run, but there was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. My muscles and my legs were screaming. But I didn't care. If I stopped here, then they might not even be able to scream for much longer. Even still, I glanced back, still looking, and Even still, I glanced back, looking for an excuse to rest. Reina wasn't there. Instead, I saw two villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't Reina, but a third party. Except the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. Villagers walking around weren't suspicious in and of themselves, but it bothered me. They both wore rough-looking clothes. Empty-handed, they definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But at this time of day, two adults wandering around without a purpose was enough to raise questions. But more than anything else, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while walking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. Was I at the end of my rope and finally started imagining things? I should run away. That was probably the best choice. If they weren't involved, I'd lose them easily by running. If they were a part of the group after me, then they would come running after me. Either way, unless I hurried up, Reina would catch up with me. That's right, I was gonna run. Deciding that, the moment I began to turn tail, both of them rushed towards me, as if they knew exactly what I was thinking. Somewhere inside me, I had jumped to the conclusion that Reina was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption that I didn't need to fear anything else. But right now, I realized just how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly, the story Uishi-san told me about the demons all leaving the village to hunt prey floated through the back of my mind. I could tell they were both coming after me without turning around because of their frenetic footsteps. It was frightening, being unable to shake Reina off as she slowly closed in on me, but this didn't even compare. Being pursued with such violent ferocity, this straightforward horror was unparalleled. One of the pursuers' arms grazed my shoulder. Now it wasn't just their frenzied footsteps, but also the distinct sound of their breathing that I could hear. No, I could practically feel them breathing on me. They were already right behind me. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. Still running at full tilt, I felt the surrounding area go still. No, it felt like time had itself had stopped. I turned my head back slightly in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the legs of an adult. In less than the time it would take to blink twice, when this frozen time began moving again, they'd be right on top of me. And then... Don't think about that, Keiichi. First, realize you won't be able to shake them off like this. The fact that you can't get away was a given, and you need to make a decision. Go with the right leg or with the left. You just need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. The moment I decided that, the temporal singularity burst into pieces. Right, left. I swung the bat in a wide arc with my right arm. Using that inertia, I stopped and suddenly spun. Two of them were clearly startled, momentarily losing sight of me, both their outstretched arms, ready to grab me, instead grasped at empty space. The man on the right, I applaud him for being able to figure it out, spun around to the spot I shouldn't have been, and faced me in astonishment. But it was too late. I didn't even need to swing my bat. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. It was by no means a heavy blow, but it seemed like it had enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. But just knocking him down wasn't enough to scare him away. He got back up in no time. Both of them took a fighting stance and they were ready to face me. This made me certain they weren't just two people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier than dealing with Reina, just by not recognizing their faces, by not knowing them. It made things easier. I smiled wryly on the inside. What do you want with me? Next one is going right in your face, you bastard. It's fine if it was just a bluff. By barking out at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. They spread out to either side of me with unbelievably calm expressions on their faces. One of them would grab onto my bat and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? Taking on both of them at once would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore in my body. Then I'd just have to settle it with the first move. I'd step in and strike the first one down. Narrowing my target down to the man on the right who had already been knocked down before, I stepped in and swung with all my might. There was no way for an unarmed person to guard against it. It would cause immense damage. If they blocked it with their arm, their bone would snap like a twig. If they turned their back to it, then it was possible that the blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. It looked like he was aware of this. He pushed farther through the kill zone between us and delivered a fist right into my gut. Not good. With this distance, in this position, and in this state, there was no way for me to dodge it. The world flipped upside down. I understood that I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I landed on the soft earth without a sound, feeling the grainy soil against my face. It didn't hurt at all. But the moment I thought that, I suddenly felt pain coming from the abrasions on my skin, as well as the contents of my stomach being forced upwards, flooding my mouth with a bitter sensation. I knew very well that I didn't have the time to relish this experience. I stood up as quickly as I could, but at that moment the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I simply couldn't dodge it made it all the more upsetting. After plowing into my stomach full force once again, my assailant twisted around behind me and locked his thick arm around my neck. My throat felt like it was being crushed by his immense strength. I couldn't even contemplate that I was being strangled or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened and a silent whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, the other man was more than likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes, but I could feel that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Unable to shake his arm off me. I couldn't run. I couldn't fight back. Dire straits. I couldn't even come up with the phrase that adequately. Dire straits? I couldn't even come up with the phrase that adequately described my situation. What? Okay. Okay. Cage, you got knocked the heck out. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a moment here to myself. I'm gonna scroll, so this is gonna come up. Okay. Wow, that was intense, huh? Okay, you guys have been talking a lot. I'm gonna pick a spot and probably just go down. It's about midnight. For you, witch. Oh my gosh, go to bed. You. I don't want you. I don't want you to be tired. Oh man. Anyway, I do appreciate you a lot, but yeah, I mean, if you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. 6 hours of sleep left to be able to function. Oh, function. With force, I guess I'll. Okay. I mean, if you know yourself better than I do, if you can work off of 4 hours, I'm not gonna. Obviously, I'm not gonna force you to leave anyway. That'd be ridiculous. It's around midnight here. Now I'm learning the first hiragana. Japanese. Okay, yeah. Nice. Cool. Keep on it. Japanese is like super difficult to learn, I believe. I think I think English is like one of the hardest ones, and then like it's like English and Chinese or something like that are two of the most difficult ones, because English is stupid. English is a dumb fucking language. Also, if you use the Japanese 9-button keyboard, it's really easy to write Japanese without even knowing the alphabet. What? That's crazy. Kanji is where it breaks you. I know those words. Okay, I'm gonna skip some chat there. Also for Brain, when you read this later, remember how at the start of the chapter, someone was constantly apologizing to Keiichi while he slept? Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. It took me a second. I do remember. Yes, there was an apology. That I was wondering what that was about. Yeah, he was like, I could hear somebody apologizing. It was like a woman pleading for like an apology or something, and Keiichi mentioned that it was like, it sounded really pathetic, and that whoever this person was apologizing to should just forgive this person. I remember that conversation now. Yes, I had completely forgot about that until now. Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me. Higurashi is one of the 3 stories that can make me cry consistently. Oh man, so we're gonna get into some feel stuff. Yeah. Oh, and the author is a giant troll. When they cry, I laugh. What a dick. what a really talented dick. I'm just kidding. That was the other thing, is he's writing the they haven't been completely identified as far as I am aware. They are writing the newest Silent Hill game, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to play this now. It's because that Silent Hill game's coming out, and they are writing it. So I wanted to get excited for that. The end of Arc 4 gets you. Oh man. Well, it'll be a while before we get to that, I guess. Scrolling down, but I haven't read code. Would it be Seconia? Something like that? Yeah, I saw there was a couple other When They Cry series that I'd never heard of before. I didn't know it was like a series sort of thing, but I know that now. I I just wanted to get through Higurashi. What's this? I've been waiting for 2 years for 2 years. Waited for more than 2 years now for arc 2 of that. Yeah, that is one problem. Is like you have to wait so long for them to well, not in every case, I guess, but in like manga and visual novels, there's a lot of ones that I see where it's like, oh, there was like a year before the next one came out or something like that. Hunter x Hunter still hasn't even finished. They still like, how old is that one? It's amazing. I love that. I love Hunter x Hunter. And they like, gotta get on that, damn it. I don't want it to end, but I like it. Write more. Write more Hunter x Hunter. Whoever made that, I don't remember. I normally need 12 hours of sleep. Damn. I'm gonna be tired anyway. As long as you can still function, that's, I guess, the point. Wait, I didn't think he scrolled up enough to, oh god. Probably not. But Ryu Kishi has worked as a social worker for some time. He really understands the emotions of people. Okay, that comes through. Yeah. I mean, if he's a social worker, you know, he's probably met a lot of people that are probably maybe even similar to Reina. Like, I wonder if Reina is like based on somebody that they know. Something like that. Oh, Higu and Umi, it's 6 months between each arc. That is Sikonia, is how I would pronounce it. I'm not sure, I might be saying that wrong. Was stopped because it hit real life problems too much at the time. Oh, war and COVID. Oh, yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Sad. Sad. Well, I mean, they're still working on it. So that's good. You know, it's not like dead in the water or anything. You just got to be a little patient, and then you'll get the arcs. We'll get it all. Nice. Oh, but yeah, I'll look into the other When They Cry series. I just know of them when I was, you know, setting this up for myself. I didn't look up anything on the other When They Cry series. I just know that they exist. So I'll probably look into those when we're done with this one. We'll see if those pique my interest as much as this one did. But anyway, let's get through this first, I suppose. Also, I'm sorry if I don't make it to the end of the stream because I hear my mom is still awake and I'm already secretly on. As per usual. Yeah, no worries. If you have to leave early, it was good to see you. Bye, 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 bye. And hopefully I'll be back on Monday. We'll see what we're doing at that point. I don't know. The Mian, is that an acronym? When They Cry series. Oh, no. When They Cry series has 5 entries. I recommend at least reading Umi Neko afterwards. What was the other one? The other one that I saw that I think that interests me was it was a bird, wasn't it? It was a type of bird. I don't remember. Cranes? It was cranes, wasn't it? When the cranes when they fly. This one's cicadas. But I'm still here now. Sweet. Yeah. If you need to leave, you know, it's usual. This is usual stuff. Yeah, leave whenever you got to. I totally understand. I'm pretty sure it was Cranes When They Cry was the other one that I was looking into. But anyway. Close. Okay, where we go. All right. We just got attacked. Oh, God. A familiar ceiling. The smell of the bed and pillows. I knew them well. Was this my room? Normally there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. When I did that, pain shot through my entire body.
Feeling alright? I think you'd better just lie down for a bit.
Why was Reina in my room? Blood began to surge through my muscles and my capillaries. But Reina's smile belonged to the Reina I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I relaxed, thinking that this version of Reina was safe. Why am I...
Don't you remember?
After losing consciousness, nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I could ever have imagined. I guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. I tried to at least clear my head, but I just couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind.
I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you better just lie down until then.
I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, but knowing that someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring. Why am I here? I'm sure I was at the dam site.
That's what I want to know. What happened? When I docked there, Keiichi-kun was already passed out.
That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. Recalling the memory and the terror that went along with it caused the fogginess around my mind to clear right up. Let's forget about those 2 hours for now. I didn't expect Reina to be nursing me. I thought Reina was trying to kill me. She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing, you could drag me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Reina's delicate frame, it was hard to believe that she had not only gotten me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the 2nd floor. Did she have some help?
Don't you remember, Keiichi-kun?
Reina appeared a bit surprised, but I still kept her smile.
I only propped you up on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. Don't you remember?
I don't remember. My memory was fuzzy after the point where I lost consciousness. What about those two?
Huh?
When you got there, Reina, the ones with me, or rather those two guys.
There wasn't anyone.
She said it bluntly. The way she stated it felt slightly unpleasant. I was just too timid at the time. I might have been able to force some answers out of Reina. But if I did that, then this kind Reina might transform into the scary Reina who I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press any further. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both those men were there, I don't think Reina would even have stood a chance. I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assumed she brought me here after those two were already gone. Reina was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly, yet I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. That small omen sent shivers down my spine. While Reina was still Reina, I needed to make contact. I needed to contact Uishi-san. Reina stopped me when I tried to get out of bed. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I should sleep. I'd like to go to the bathroom, though.
Sorry.
Reina couldn't say anything else. While Reina stayed in the room, I quickly went downstairs to get the phone receiver in the living room. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. It must have been the doctor that Reina had called. It was strange for a patient to welcome in the doctor who was making a house call, but it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable time it would take Uishi-san to get here. I carelessly opened the door with that simple assumption and regretted it almost instantly. Mion?
Oh, you look just fine. I heard you collapsed, so I came to check on you.
How did you know I collapsed?
I heard from Reina over the phone. Do I need any reason other than that?
I understood why she would call a doctor, but why Mion too? Reina was descending the stairs behind me.
Reina, doesn't Kei-chan look pretty alright? Sheesh, you made me worry for nothing.
That's true. Maybe I worried for nothing as well.
They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a darkness looming over them. Okay. Hello, sorry. My, audio thing crashed. Don't know why. Anyway, where were we?
Whoa, what's up with this shoe rack? How did it get like this?
The shoe rack that I'd smashed to pieces had been like that since yesterday. I fell, you see, and the bat I was holding at the time slammed into it.
This is what happens when you swing around something you're not supposed to handle.
I kept the fact that it was none of her business to myself.
But leaving it like this will really startle your parents when they get home. I'll fix it up for you later.
Now, come on, Kei-chan. The terminally ill need their rest. Come, back in bed, back in bed.
Both of them urged me to go upstairs. I had no chance to call Uishi-san. I was pushed into my bed. As it was the first time Mion had been in my room, she began searching around intently. She fiddled around my room and was scolded by Reina. Can imagine how it went. It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. During that innocent conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary.
Reina, did you call the doctor?
Yep, right after I called Michan. He said he'd be right over.
Oh, director. Did you call the director? Director? That out-of-place word gave me a bad feeling. Reina called a doctor, then called Mion. After that, she called a director? Who was this director? Since Reina and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, it only felt slightly odd. What are you two talking about? Who's this director?
Didn't you know, K-chan? We mean the director when we say director.
Like the director of a movie, or like a foreman of a construction site.
I dug through all of my memories for a director who might have business with me. The only thing that came to mind. Only one thing came to mind. What Reina had just said. The construction site foreman. The very first victim of the first incident, the dismemberment at the damn construction site. The foreman? But that was strange. He was supposed to be dead. There's no way they could call him. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. What does that director have to do with me? You said he was coming? Did you mean to my house? I asked one obvious question after another, but all the two of them did was smile coolly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and my suspicions were playing out, and how my suspicions were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort and panic welling up inside me. I couldn't understand what Reina and Mion were talking about.
K-chan, you've gotten into baseball lately, haven't you? Pretty sure the director will be happy to hear that.
So, who is this director?
The director is the director.
So, who is this director? Wish I could do two voices at once, but I can't. Reina and Mion looked at each other and laughed haughtily. That disturbing cackle unpleasantly resounded around me. That laugh, long enough to be unsettling, ended abruptly.
Oh yeah, we should finish up before the director comes. You remember, don't you, K-chan?
Her face was laughing, but Mion's eyes told a different story. Remember what?
She-kun. Had he forgotten, I wonder? About the penalty. How about the penalty? Did you really forget? The homework with the mochi? The homework. Where you were supposed to guess which one Reina made? You forgot about that homework, didn't you?
I certainly did have that homework, but I had thrown away the rest of the mochi after I found that sewing needle. So I wasn't able to answer which one Reina made. The penalty for that? Why now? No doubt my question was written all over my face. Their answer to my question was that dry laughter. I could no longer make heads or tails of anything. I began to think that this entire day was somehow insane. Strange. Incomprehensible. Being chased by Reina, attacked by strange men. The penalty Mion and Reina were talking about? What are these two laughing at? It didn't take that long for me to realize I had been dragged into an abnormal situation. Who were these two? Who were these people? Who were these doppelgangers of Reina and Mion? Reina had gotten behind me at some point. Oh my gosh. I'm on mute. Damn it. Shoot, how long? How long was I on mute for? What was, do you guys know what the last line I said was that you could hear? Damn. Oh, so his name is Nick. Yeah, sorry. I usually tell people that. I usually tell new people. I'm sorry. Yes, you can call me Nick. Since the red screen? Since the screen went red. Ah, shoot. I don't remember when that was. Can I go? I can't just like click on one of these. Go back. Darn it. Can I go back at all? Doubt the menu. I'm just gonna save real quick. I'm gonna save on one of these last ones just in case, but just in case I screw something up. Why is she pinning my arms? Okay, all right, not too far back. Why was she pinning my arms behind my back? What are you doing? Okay. So, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds about right. I do think I muted myself to, like, cough or something like that. These doppelgangers of Reina. Okay, alright. Who were these doppelgangers of Reina in Mion? Okay. Okay. Here. Alright, we'll just go off of this. Excuse me. Alright. Who are these people? Who are these doppelgangers of Mion? Reina had gotten behind me at some point. Why was she pinning my arms behind my back? What are you doing?
I don't know if this is your penalty.
My body was already very sluggish, and Reina pinning my arms made it that much harder to move. I seriously tried to struggle, but she wouldn't even budge. My panic began to well up, and I realized that this was well beyond the realm of jokes and pleasantries. This freakishly monstrous strength. It would have been impossible for the Reina I knew. Then, these thin, frail arms grasping me firmly. Whose arms were they?
K-Chan, no struggling. Club rule number... It doesn't matter which one. You just can't fight against the penalty.
Mion. No, that thing that looked like Mion spoke to me like how Mion would speak to me, but I was certain this was not Mion. Someone who wasn't Mion. Someone who was just pretending to be Mion.
Need to finish this up before the director comes.
Mion fished into her pockets and pulled out something bizarre. I could tell what it was just by looking at it, but for just the thing to be in her pocket, my mind wouldn't accept it. What is that? It was a small syringe. It was a small, clear syringe, the kind a doctor might use if you went to them with a high fever. Reina held me even tighter, and I could hear that clattering laughter that no longer sounded like laughter blaring into my ear. That eerie laughter. It wasn't something that the Reina I knew could ever produce from her own throat. This thing that was pretending to be Reina. Was this their real laugh? Unable to defend myself, the syringe Mion was holding drew closer. That needle tip was waved in front of my face countless times.
Don't worry. It won't hurt. It won't hurt.
What are you planning on doing? What kind of sick joke is this?
What are you saying, Kei-chan? You know exactly what's going on, don't you?
About what? I don't understand any of this.
I know you know. No use playing the fool this late in the game.
Stop talking nonsense and trying to confuse me.
You're going to have done to you what happened to Tometake-san.
What? The same as Tometake-san. I didn't really understand what she meant. What did that have to do with this syringe?
You're playing dumb, Keiichi-kun. You should have realized it by now.
Reina whispered into my ear, laughing as if to admonish me. But even the way she spoke was repulsive beyond compare. Playing dumb? Me? About what? What do you mean? The same as Tometake-san?
Everyone thought at first that it was just a hit and run. Except when the officer got closer to check if he was still alive, he soon noticed it wasn't a normal situation. His throat was scratched out.
From a knife or something?
No, nails.
Nails? Nails as in fingernails? With those gouged through? That's right. Tometake-san had clawed out his own throat with his own nails and died. There was no way someone could die like that. So then, for that to happen...
We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected.
That's right. The police didn't even find any drugs in Tometake-san's system. The police told me they didn't find any drugs in Tometake-san's body. Gue. The two of them laughed together with that sickening laughter. Of course they'd laugh. To assume that such a medicine didn't exist just because the police didn't know about it, I was completely foolish. Meaning, the drug that caused Tometake-san to die in such a bizarre manner did exist. If Mion injected this into me, then that would probably be all the proof I needed. That would basically mean I'd end up the same as Tometake-san. Become hysterical, scratching out my own throat in my last moments, then die. For such an outrageous drug to exist, for Mion to be holding it, and that I was about to be injected with it. At that moment, I did not feel there was any need whatsoever to question it. What kind of idiot, when he's trying to dodge a ball flying straight for his face, has time to think of a reason as to why it's flying at him?
Just give up, alright then?
Mion's actions lacked in gravitas, and that made it even more terrifying. There was none of the ceremony like when someone is sentenced to death. There was no hesitation at all, as if she were brushing her teeth. Mion reached out with one hand and grabbed onto my chest. It felt like electricity had run through the back of my head and the entire world had gone dark. Did I stand up too fast? Or did someone hit me really hard on the back of the head? Having lost my sense of balance, I was assaulted by a wave of dizziness. As I looked at, obviously they wrote on his shirt with markers. Yeah, remember? That's funny. I like that. I'm laughing now. That made me laugh. We're supposed to be serious. This is scary. It was a scary time, and I'm laughing. Anyway. I squatted down for a bit. When I came back to my senses, my entire room had drastically changed. The numbness in my head was gone, and slowly, I could tell blood was flowing to my extremities again. How long had I been squatting here? How many minutes? Or has it been hours? It was almost as if the hands on the clock had stopped moving the entire time my eyes were closed. That's how little time had passed. Really? The air in the room wasn't filled with that madness from before. Only a dull silence. Reina wasn't there pinning my arms, and Mion wasn't there about to inject me with a needle. No way. Could it be all of it was a hallucination? There was no other presence in the room besides my own. It was the weirdest experience I'd ever had. I was certainly with Reina and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but I was also seized with some sort of comfort. I guess that terrible ordeal was a hallucination. Neither Reina nor Mion, they wouldn't ever do something so terrible. My head grew hot. I could tell my emotions were welling up. Why? That wasn't a reason to cry. Why? It was sorrow. Why was I sad? I don't understand. I don't understand. Kind to everyone, not discriminating against age or gender. Mion? That Mion was sprawled by the window in an unnatural pose. Blood stained her deep red from the head down to her chest. The bright crimson smeared on the walls. That splatter had undoubtedly come from Mion. She always had that bright smile and was kind to me from the day I transferred. Reina. That same Reina was slumped at my feet, and I was making the same pool of blood as Mion. I couldn't comprehend what had happened. Did someone come to save me? Then they beat these two down with this metal bat? I finally noticed the weight in my right hand. How long had it been there? It was Satoshi's metal bat. It was covered in a deep red. There was no doubt that this was the weapon used to mutilate both of them. And I was holding that weapon. I was the only person in the house. What? Looking at this objectively, I couldn't think of anyone other than myself who could have done it. I did this? That's right. Keiichi Maebara. Of course I did it. I told myself gently, as if coaxing myself. Hey, me. There's no reason for you to remember it, nor is there a need to regret it. Eat or be eaten. You get that, don't you? But the blood, there's so much. Neither Reina nor Mion had moved an inch. It wasn't just a split forehead and a trickle of blood. Nothing that simple. The entire room was splattered with red, and that told me that it didn't end with just 2 or 3 strikes. Are they dead? Both of them? The depths of my mind were calm, but on the surface I was panicking and agitated. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. What happened to your usual calm self? Come now. Do like you always do. Throw your head back. Take a deep breath. Come on. Once. Twice. Breathe deeply. Calm down. Calm down. I chanted that over and over in my head and relaxed. Color came back to my vision, and smells reinfused the air. At the same time, I remembered what happened when I blacked out. Reina and Mion had attacked me. They were about to inject me with whatever caused the same symptoms as Tomitake-san. Right before that happened, I fought back. I twisted my whole body and threw Reyna as she was pinning my arms. Then I followed through with my spin and rammed my foot as hard as I could into Mion's torso. It was soft. Reyna tried jumping on me, so I tackled her as hard as I could and slammed her against the wall. I didn't let that brief moment of having them off balance slip by. Satoshi's bat that was left carelessly by the side of my desk. Weep. At that moment, everything went pitch black. There was nothing recorded past this point in the videotape of my mind. No, that wasn't right. It wasn't that there was nothing recorded. It was recorded just fine. Just the other me inside myself had told me not to look and had turned off the TV. Just because the screen had gotten black and I couldn't see it didn't mean that the videotape within me hadn't recorded it. The TV was just off. The video was still playing. The tape within me, creaking along, still playing. On the other end of that pitch black screen, that horrifying video was still playing on. Compared to this, though, this scene right before my eyes was still so difficult to take in. There was blood splattered everywhere on the walls, the two of them in their unnatural poses. Not a sign of movement from them. I couldn't even tell if they were breathing. No matter what the circumstances were. My friends, these girls, I had attacked them. I may have even killed them. But if I hadn't done this, I would have been the one done for. Balancing that out on an imaginary scale, it felt odd that I couldn't even feel bad about it. Even if it was a bit excessive, this was justifiable self-defense. The proof was all here. The two of them collapsed here, and Mion's syringe filled with some unknown drug would certainly solve the mystery surrounding the incident with Tometake-san. And from the fact that both of these two were involved, they'd be able to pick out the criminals one after the other. Still, I might be suspected for this, but that was just fine. Anyway, now this should be a police affair. This wouldn't fade into darkness like Reina's past incidents. As long as the police were involved, that should bring this to a close. They'll probably revisit their investigation on the chain of incidents. Uishi-san would definitely get to the bottom of it. Meaning, my wish of not wanting to die, of wanting to know the truth, that would be fulfilled in its most basic form. It was all a matter of time now. The doctor Reina called should be getting here soon. I'll confess everything to him. I needed to contact Uishi-san. At that moment, I remembered. Besides the doctor, a director had been called. It was easy to imagine that they were someone deeply involved with the incidents, judging from Reina and Mion's conversation. The ache in my chest, caused by the gruesome deed I'd done, dissipated rapidly. It was not over yet. This place was no longer safe. Stay calm, Keiichi Maebara. It's not over yet. I needed to live long enough to tell the police of this incident. At that moment, I felt like I had heard someone's voice from outside. Since people were speaking, it must mean that there were more than one person. I moved the curtain over slightly and peered outside. It was a bizarre sight. About 4 or 5 grown men were all gathered at the gate. They very much resembled the 2 men who had assaulted me at the dam site today. Those 2 might even be among them. There was one person there wearing a white coat, but he didn't look like a doctor at all. My gut told me he was in disguise, only posing as a doctor. That guy would probably ring the bell and get me to open the front door. Pretend to be a doctor to get me to open the door, and then the rest of them would all rush in at once. At that moment, I saw the car parked behind the men, and my heart nearly skipped a beat. The white van. No mistaking it. That van. The one that had tried to run me down? The man in the white coat entered the gate and headed towards the front door. The rest of the men hid in the bushes and watched him. I probably couldn't pretend I wasn't home. Undoubtedly, they'd just break the window and enter. I needed to get out of here somehow, then use a public phone to contact Uishi-san, then meet up somewhere. First of all, I need a weapon, then shoes. But before all of that, there was one thing that I had to do. I had no intention of dying. I'd live and reveal the truth about this nonsensical curse of Oyashiro-sama. But what would happen from here on, regardless of how determined I was, may bring about my demise. And that's why there was one thing more important than getting out of here right now. I need to get that clock out quickly and take down the note hidden behind it. Damn it. The tape was sticking to it fast. It'd be fine if it was torn a little. I opened up the slightly torn note and began writing another passage with the ballpoint pen. If I wasn't able to inform Uishi-san, then the only thing I could rely on was this note. I never thought a piece of torn, college-ruled notebook paper could be this reliable before. I had no time. I'd only write what I knew right now. I needed to leave some sort of information that would lead them to uncover the truth. Reina and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. That's a weird sentence. Reina and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. That's such a weird sentence. Reina and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. This was an undeniable fact. I still didn't want to believe it, but it was a fact. Anyway, I'd leave all the information that would help lead them to finding the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This was everything I was able to see from the window. There may be more. Although there was that unidentified person known as the director. To begin with, the term director didn't even mesh with Hinamizawa at all. If they were going to include the directors from the past incidents, then the only one is the construction foreman, a victim of the first murder. The very first victim in the chain of incidents. Killed in a lynching, his body divided into 6 pieces, his right arm never discovered. The police should have confirmed that death. But Mion and Reina did both call him director. They said director. They wouldn't use that term to refer to someone who is dead. The police would never even conceive that someone who is deceased could be involved. Could that be some oversight? I don't know. But even if I didn't know, could be a big hint for Uishi-san. That's right. They needed to start fresh from the first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment, but the start of this string of mysterious deaths that would follow. So then there must be something hidden there. Please reinvestigate the victim from the dismemberment incident. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. Logically, you would think as much, but was that really the case? Could it have been some sort of ploy that they were able to deceive the police with? I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that right now. Oh yeah, there's something even more important I need to write. Tometake-san's death was from an unknown drug. That's right, that drug. It was an irreplaceable piece of evidence. No doubt, just by having this, everything would be uncovered. I couldn't just leave that vital clue lying on the floor. This syringe is proof. Writing that down, I stuck the syringe onto the back of the clock with plenty of tape. So it absolutely would not slip out and fall onto the floor. Firmly. The bell rang. They were here. I couldn't write anymore, but even still, there was one last thing I had to write. I have no idea why it has become like this. This may be the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote on this note.
If you are reading this, then I am probably already dead, though you may or may not find my body. If I was going to write out everything that could happen, either dying from the curse or being demoned away, you who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. With this, my last will and testament was complete. It wasn't certain that I was going to die, but it was my final plea. Just in case, I folded the note, stuck it back onto the back of the clock, and returned the clock back to its usual spot. I couldn't help but pray. Uishi-san, if something happens to me, I'll leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed down silently at Reina and Mion. This was probably the last time we'd ever see each other. Reina, Mion. I really had thought all of us were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun in my previous school. I only worried about standardized test scores, but if the school I hoped to get into Jesus Christ, I'm gonna take that. I only worried about standardized test scores, about if the school I hoped to get into was where I really wanted to go, or a safety net. That was all I talked about. It was a dull life. The people I called friends were also my rivals in studying, in competitions, in personal records, and standardized test scores. Everyone here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. This month was really fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over the club, making a fuss over the festival. Something hot began dripping down from my face. Uncontrollable tears. I should have had no obligation to shed tears for them, but they wouldn't stop. Even if they were after my life, even if they were trying to kill me, everything that happened this month, I wouldn't forget it. Or could it be those happy days were all a facade as well? Was it all a trap, meticulously orchestrated up until today to ensnare me? Could it have been that I just arbitrarily assumed that they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Reina and Mion, they really were my friends. Those happy days, there was nothing fake or unclear about them. Someone probably forced them to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by the supernatural entity known as Oyashiro-sama. Regardless, both Reina and Mion, they were the best friends ever. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition. But they weren't the kind of people to sell off their friends, no matter what means were employed to force them. And there was no way such a thing as being possessed by Oyashiro-sama would happen in reality. Then, did the real Reina and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly, dumb idea. Having beaten down both Reina and Mion, I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake, only the reality that was before me. Reina and Mion were sprawled at my feet. That was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts to my benefit that I had beaten my friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change reality. Reina and Mion were both dead. It felt like there was a crack in the dam of strange emotions I was holding back. It felt like my calm state, which was nothing more than a bluff, had receded, and in that opening, insanity was leaking out. I killed them. I killed them. Reina and Mion, I killed them. The doorbell rang again. The unrelenting echo pulled me back into a state of composure once again. I didn't have a moment to spare. Quickly, I needed to get away. I didn't want to die. I would uncover everything after that. The identity of whoever or whatever had pushed me this far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would survive. I would survive. I would definitely survive. I killed Reina for that very reason. I also killed Mion.
I went that far just to keep living, so I can't die. For my sake and for the sake of the late Reina and Mion, I have to survive. I ran towards the door and grabbed my shoes. The doorbell rang again as if to urge me on. Behind this single, solitary door, they were there. Keeping quiet, I headed towards the kitchen, headed towards the back door. Before opening the back door, I put my ear to it and checked for people outside. No one? After I put on my shoes, I opened the door slowly so as not to make a sound. There he is! The back door! A piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me, setting my hair on end. I had to run. Get out of here, Keiichi. One after the other, I felt stuff like rationale and intelligence, those things you use when you have time but to spare, spill out of me. I didn't feel any pain from the branches scratching my arms and forehead. My autonomously pulsing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being just wished to live. There was nothing else it desired. It probably had no complaints whatsoever, so of course I wouldn't feel fatigue. I just ran, just recklessly rushing in the direction I was already heading. Even if nobody was chasing after me, I'd still be running like this. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was headed. Turning around, I felt a presence right next to me. That presence was, without a doubt, chasing me like a shadow. If I took even one misstep, I would be devoured. That's what I thought, so I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran at full speed. Quack, 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 quack. It was the chirping of the Higurashi telling me it was evening, trying to tell me something, and then I finally heard it. The wailing cry of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So I ran towards where I could hear more of the Higurashi's chirps. But the farther I ran, the farther away their chirping became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running away? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize. I'm sorry. 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 Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I felt that only the Higurashi knew. Ray, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Same cadence. Chased by shadows, run from the truth of your crimes is the achievement that I just got. Does that mean it's the end? Was that the end of the chapter? Usually I only get achievements at the end of chapters. Well, no. Really? Oh my gosh. Gosh. Hey, Witch, do you know, like, how much longer is there? I've been at this for a while. I might need to stop unless there's it's not too. Okay. This is the last scene now. Oh, okay. Okay, jeez. Oh gosh. Okay. Maybe about 30 minutes left at most. Okay, well. So I guess this will probably be a long one then. Oh gosh. Okay. I mean, I don't want to start the next stream with only half an hour. I mean, of course, we still have the tips to do, which will probably take us, I don't know how long those are going to take, I guess, though. Okay. I think, all right. I'm going to push through this. we're gonna finish this then. Finish this last scene, I guess. Is it the end of the chapter? The what is it? Oni Kakushi is what it is. Like, is it the end of the entire first chapter? The next 30 minutes, or is it like the end of chapter 12 of 13? Tips plus after party for a separate stream. Then, yeah. End of Oni Kakushi. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sweet. Whew. And so, yeah, we'll finish this today. We'll finish Oni Kakushi, and then next time, next stream will be the tips. We'll go through all of those. I don't know how long that'll take, but, you know, I'll try to get all those done in one if I possibly can. But we'll see. Anyway, let's continue. I'm gonna take a second to, like, kind of clear my throat and take a drink, though, real quick. So there'll be silence for a moment. Okay. The smoking room was filled with a cloud of cigarette smoke. The expensive smoke filter gave off some crackling electric noise, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything at all. Why do smokers have to be shoved so far down this corridor where the sun didn't even reach? I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about a tenth of the municipality's revenue. Municipalities? It was about a tenth of the municipality's revenue. We were the most heavily taxed members of this municipality, so I really wish they'd show us a little more respect. Oh gosh, another voice. Let's... Don't forget to unmute yourself. Wait. I didn't. It was the first time I've done that this entire playthrough. Forgot to mute myself. All right, you look what's the word? You look shady. I'll just give you like a weaselly voice, like, why would you discard the 5 manzu there? It's just decreasing your options. One of the younger detectives was having a staring contest with the mahjong magazine called Next Turn. You're still in Tenpai if you cut the 5 manzu. If you're betting on Haiti, then shouldn't you be going into it with a mangan? Kuma-chan, look at the pond. They all discarded a 5 manzu. It's a safe tile. It's a safe tile. I can't read right now. You'd hate it if, at the end of the game, someone was sitting on a tenpai on the last turn, wouldn't you? So many Japanese words that I probably am mispronouncing like a son of a bitch. The kid let out another groan, put out a cigarette, then took out another one. I just don't agree. Why would you reduce your own options? By the way, you can't call Ron with your winning tile in that... Haiti? What? Why is that? Just then, I heard a voice coming from down the hall. Oishi! Are you there, Oishi-san? You have a call from a civilian. Whoa, ain't that something? Well, see you soon. Well, why can't you call Ron on it? Hold on for a second, Uishi-san. The man... Jesus, okay, that is embarrassing. The man sitting in the seat Uishi-san was heading towards waved at the telephone receiver. Outside line, from a payphone. Oh, why, thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. This is Uishi. Who is it? Uishi-san. Hello?
If it isn't Maibara-san, why, good evening.
From the tone, Maibara-kun's... From the tone, What the... Okay, weird sentence. From the tone Maibara-kun's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This was the first time Maibara-kun had phoned me. Oh, this is... Oh, I am Uishi-san. Oh, fuck. I don't know if I can do his voice this whole time. Oh my gosh. Oh, God. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go back.
From the tone Maibara-kun's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This was the first time Maibara-kun had phoned me, and he was calling from a payphone. Please, calm down. Did something happen?
Well...
His voice was erratic over the line. He had completely lost his sense of composure. After checking that nobody else could hear, I prompted him in a hushed tone. What happened?
I...
Calm down, Maibara-san. I can have the local officers head to your location. I'll be there soon, too.
I think that's impossible.
His voice was quivering and hoarse. He wasn't surrounded by people, even as he was making this call, was he? Maibara-san, you're calling from a payphone right now, right? Where is that payphone? There were no other sounds besides Maibara-kun's voice. It had to be a phone booth. I scratched out a note and thrust it at my colleague sitting across from me. Hinamizawa phone booth. He understood quickly and hastily started the internal lines. Calm down, Maibara-san. What is your current situation? It was best practice to avoid flustering someone panicking, but this was an urgent case. Maibara-kun didn't just get in trouble, get away, and then call me. He was in the midst of something dangerous right now, but yelling at Maibara-kun right now would just needlessly cause him to be even more frantic. Maibara-kun wasn't just calling to seek help. He was trying to tell us something more than that. And whatever it was, if I didn't get it from this call, I was certain there would never be another chance. My colleague pushed a note in front of me. There's only one phone booth in Hinamizawa. Patrol car's on the way, 5 minutes. That's too long. How many officers are there? 2. Not enough. If it was as I imagined, there were likely quite a few people surrounding Maibara-kun. 5 minutes was too long. Did you call the officer stationed in Hinamizawa?
He's scheduled to be on patrol. They're currently out, and it'll be impossible to contact them.
God damn. Kuma-chan, bring the car around. Understood.
Sorry, I gave him such a stupid voice. Funny to me. Sorry. Hello, Uishi-san.
Hello. It's all right. I can hear you loud and clear. There was something wrong with Maibara-kun. It wasn't a normal coughing sound. Vomiting? Or was it blood? He had already been attacked. Had he already been attacked? Was he injured? Maibara-san, the police are on their way. They'll be here in a couple of minutes, so hold on, somehow. Hello? Can you hear me? Maibara-san. I could hear on the other end of the line that he was having a coughing fit. The worst possible situation popped into my head. Maibara-san, who is the culprit? How many are there?
I thought... At first, the culprit was human.
I couldn't tell if that was a cough or vomiting. Are you all right, Maibara-san?
I thought that the culprit was a person and not Oyashiro-sama's curse up until right now. But I guess, in the end,
It was an intense bout of coughing, then vomiting.
but I guess Oyashiro-sama does exist. No, he's here.
Maibara-san, please, just calm down.
I'd been thinking it was strange for a while now. It's been following me this whole time. I run and run and run and run, but it just sticks to me like my shadow. But slowly, it's digging itself into my back.
Maibara-san, are they right now, perhaps right behind you?
Behind me. Right behind me.
Please, Maibara-san. I can tell you're scared, but please, who is it that's right behind you?
I can't just look behind me. If I do, I'll...
I understand that you're scared, but tell me, please. You just need to turn around a bit. Who is it? Who is behind you, Maibara-san?
Right after
I said that, I could hear him vomiting intensely. What followed was a nightmarish sound. Maibara-san, it couldn't be that you're clawing out your own throat. There was no answer, but I could hear something like scratching. There was a bang, as if something was being hit. Maibara-kun had probably dropped the receiver. I could hear groaning and vomiting over the other end and repeating abnormal noise. Hello, Maibara-san, hello. I knew how far away my voice would sound on the other end, but I couldn't help but shout. That moment I heard whispering coming from the other end. I couldn't tell what he was saying. From the way he was saying it, was he talking to himself? Or was he talking to someone there? Hello, Maibara-san. Rather than whispering, it was some kind of mantra he was chanting over and over. I focused my senses, trying to pick up what he was saying. What was he repeating? What exactly? Beep. Suddenly, the line went dead. Did he use up his time? It was because it was a payphone. It was because it cut out so abruptly. The last thing that he said came out so clearly in my mind. Uishi-san, the car is good to go. Uishi-san? It was... I'm sorry. Uishi-san? That's what he was repeating over and over. He said, I'm sorry. I had a gut feeling. So it was no longer a need to hurry. I could hear the chirp of the Higurashi spilling in from the open window. I should have been able to hear them this entire time. I just wasn't paying any attention. Why did I focus on them all of a sudden? Were they trying to tell me something? Only the Higurashi knew. That's how I felt. I assume? I'm just gonna read this in my voice. I assume we're still Uishi, but whatever. June 1983. In Hinamizawa, a remote village near Shishibone City, there was a murder involving 2 female students. Suspect is Keiichi Maibara, aged something teen. The suspect called over his 2 female classmates, Reina Ryugu, Mion Sonozaki, to his house and beat them to death with a metal bat. The scene of the crime was the suspect's room on the 2nd floor of his house. The inside of the room was covered with a significant quantity of splattered blood, and there were signs of a struggle with the victims. In addition to the scene of the crime, the entryway, the living room, and kitchen all had traces of a struggle. At the entryway, the shoe rack and wall had evidence of being impacted by a strong, blunt force. It is believed to have been the same bat as
It is believed to have been the same bat as the murder weapon. Having no traces of blood, it is believed the destruction occurred before the murders. There is the possibility that the suspect overpowered his victims to keep them from fleeing. In the living room, the rug had been pulled back, then thrown aside. It is hard to believe that this had a connection to the struggle with the victims, and thus the reason for this remains unknown. In the kitchen, the garbage bag was torn apart, and its contents were spread out on the floor. Garbage was strewn about in the surrounding area, and handprints believed to belong to the suspect were discovered. It is believed that the suspect had, for some reason, taken out the garbage and struck it with his fists. The reason for this remains unknown. In addition, there was a note stuck to the fridge. The words, "Was there a needle?" were written on it. The meaning behind this remains unclear. Just in case, the garbage was searched, but a needle was not discovered. Though the garage door was functional, it had been left open ever since the suspect moved in. The garage door was found closed. The suspect's fingerprints were discovered on the garage door. The reason behind this remains unknown. The suspect fled the scene of the crime. However, a patrolling officer, Hinamizawa Local PD, found the suspect collapsed inside a phone booth. At the time of discovery, the suspect was unconscious and in critical condition. He was rushed to the local hospital for treatment, but did not regain consciousness and died 24 hours later. The results of the autopsy indicate the immediate cause of death to have been hypovolemic shock. It was determined that the suspect had clawed at his own throat with his fingernails, and the resulting bleeding caused his death. With a similarity to the death of Tomitake-san the prior week, the police believe there to be a connection and have opened an investigation. However, due to the wishes of the local authorities, it will be a confidential investigation. Due to the abnormal nature of the death, it was suspected that drugs were involved, but as with Tomitake-san, no traces were discovered. What prompted all this remains inexplicable. As such, this case is being treated as an act committed on impulse. However, with several accounts of the suspect's bizarre behavior leading up to the incident, it is possible that this was premeditated. Separated from his group of friends, isolation, inexplicable behavior. Several days before the incident, the suspect began carrying around a metal bat. The suspect was observed displaying aggressive behavior, as well as talking to himself at school. His classmates have actually heard portions of what he was saying. 2 days before the incident, the suspect declared to his parents the possibility of his death. Due to these circumstances, the police have begun an investigation on the possibility that this crime was not committed on impulse, but was instead planned several days in advance. Afterwards, a note was found in the suspect's room he had written himself. The note was written on 2 sheets from a B5 college-ruled notebook that had each been torn in half. As if trying to conceal it, was stuck hidden behind a clock on the wall. The contents are as written in the appendix. The police believe it to be strongly related to the incident. The police have changed their line of investigation based on the possibility that the suspect was involved in some sort of incident himself. However, no further clues were found, casting doubt on the credibility of the note. Was the crime impulse or premeditated? With the situation unclear and no further developments, the case has been labeled as unresolved. However, the following year, suspicion arose regarding the nature of the note. The note was not written on 2 halves of B5 paper from 2 separate sheets, but was originally a single sheet of B5 paper. In order to erase several lines from the middle, someone had torn them out. Judging from the size of the letters, the missing section is estimated to be 2 to 3 lines. It is highly probable that the person who eliminated the lines in question is not the suspect. In addition, judging from traces of large quantities of cellophane tape being stuck to the back of the clock, speculation that something other than the note was stuck there has arisen. The person who first discovered the crime was a detective rumored to have a connection with the incident. Kurado? Kurado Uishi, something like that. He underwent voluntary questioning, but denies involvement in any damages to the note. The suspect's note. I, Keiichi Maebara, am in fear for my life. I do not know why they are after my life. The only thing I know is that this has to do with Oyashiro-sama's curse. Reina and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This is all the first sheet. The section below has been ripped out. This is from the second sheet. The section above has been ripped out. I have no idea why it has become like this. If you are reading this, then I am probably already dead, though you may or may not find my body. You, who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. Keiichi Maebara. Oh, come on. What? That's the end, huh? That's gotta be. Oh my goodness. A new scenario has been unlocked. All cast review session has become available. Then extra stuff. All that. You got it, dude. Oh my goodness. They took out, please uncover the truth is the achievement I just got. Complete this chapter. Oh my god, we did it. We did it. We got through it. Okay, well, here, I'm gonna get me back. Oh no, I don't know if I.
It's alive.
Did the live thing. Yep. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. Shut up. That was it. That was the first chapter of Higurashi When They Cry. Ooh, it only took us 7 parts, but we got through it, and we still have a lot to go through before we're actually done because we have a ton of chapters. Why don't I do that? Here, let's put me back on here. So the tips, all cast review stuff. Well, we have all of these. I did the first one. I did the first tip. But I think next time when I go through these, we'll just start at the beginning because that was the only one I did, I believe. Okay, so it is just like 2.5 pages. Okay. Cool. And then, oh, no, damn it. And then all cast review session. I don't know what that's new. That's new. That's different. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Thank you for buying. Yeah, okay. Sweet. They mean it's like an all cast, like it's the cast of the game or whatever. Awesome. Anyway, so Keiichi died. Our main character, we died, and that's the end. Obviously, there is 7 more chapters of this. 7 more big chapters of this entire series. Not the When They Cry series, obviously, but the Higurashi series. Woo! But yeah, we'll be going through the we're just gonna have the cicadas playing in the background this whole time. I like the sound of it. Anyway, I'm gonna go way back up here. We'll just chat for a little bit, I guess. Let's see. It's my not safe for work. Okay, good place to stop right there. Only thing to comfort me is my not safe for work anime body pillow. That's funny. Nice. I see a bunch of stuff about food. I'm also very hungry. This is about my dinner time. I definitely need food. I think I've earned it. How long? Oh, this is almost 3 hours. I usually try to do 2 to 2.5 at most. Man. So I'm going to skip over some chats as well. Okay. Some energy drinks. Yeah, Witch, you got to get some sleep. I appreciate you being here a lot. Thank you. So Keiichi is a murderer. Yeah, he murdered. Self-defenser. He's a self-defenser, right? He self-defended. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm hungry. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Jeez, 300 messages to read. Hell no. I'm sure you guys were yelling at me all this other profanities and whatnot. I guess I'm never gonna see it or praises. Yeah. Anyway, last scene. I read all those tips plus an after party for a separate stream. Yep, will be. I guess yeah. It depends on how long it takes me to get through the tips. I don't think the first one was too long, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I don't remember how long it was. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all of them in one stream, but yeah. I've already been here so long. Man, this first chapter, the Onikakushi chapter. Whoa! I said at the beginning. I said in part 1 that this would get fucked up, and it did. I was right. I knew it would. I told you. I warned you, and I look. We murdered some high school girls, and then clawed out our own throat. So, yeah, lots of death. Don't forget to unmute yourself. Yeah. Who's that ugly as fuck guy? Hey, rude. I'm judging him. That means I'm gonna take you home and Reina's catchphrase. Oh, all that Japanese that you put that I can't read. Kuma-chan isn't shady. Oh yeah, okay. The guy made that weird voice. He's a newbie detective. You would know if you heard the VAs. Oh, that he's not shady. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should, before like giving them a voice that I think they look like. Maybe I should listen to what they sound like initially and maybe see if I can emulate it at all. I probably won't, but maybe I should at least try to start doing that. Like Imagine Poker, but it's on crack. Oh, Japanese games are crazy. There's a Go. That's the one that I know. That's like, it's like chess, but if chess was like 100,000 times more complicated, something like that. It's crazy. I don't know what that means. What? Shinite? What? I don't know what that is. Shine death. Yeah, I guess I don't know what that means. Don't scratch. If you have an itch, don't scratch it. Never scratch. Oh, like your throat, like clawing out your throat. Especially not when it's the neck that itches. I don't want to die. Yeah, the like Keiichi was this what eventually happened for him. Voice changer for cicadas. When I don't like, I'm not gonna make. There's cicadas. The noises. That's one thing though, is that I've always been like, as I've been playing through this, I'm like, do I say the sound effect? Because they put like bleeps and ding dongs and like queep squaps. They put all those stuff and they type them out. But then they also play that sound effect. Like, why do I have to say ding dong? I don't feel like I have to say ding dong when you put the ding dong in there, or like the sound of the cicadas. I like, why would I make a cicada noise? I don't get it. Well, like, why even put those in there? Keiichi is 16, I think. Yeah, I don't think, because Rika and Satoko are just younger, and then I think he said that Mion was older than him. Maybe, I don't know if they really came out with their ages, or they said explicitly. I don't remember if they did, at least in this chapter. But yeah, I mean, they're in high school. That would make sense. High school, American, right? I think the grades are a little different there, but 16 would still be like their version of high school, right? I'm pretty sure. Satoko, yeah, Rika and Satoko were like young, near like 9. Oof. Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't get to see Satoko.
But this one is what I usually do for Rika. This is Rika-chan's voice. I didn't get to do him. And then this is Satoko. I didn't get to do either of them today. But anyway.
Whatever. What? Or I don't know, it's been too long. Oh, for Japanese, nah, Ray practicing Japanese there. It's cool. Yeah, like I said, I hope you keep on that. I didn't. I've tried like twice to to start learning Japanese, and I only ever get so far. So I know very little. Also, I can't tell if the non is what or part of the next word because you used hiragana and not the kanji. Man, more simple way. Oh my gosh. Oh, geez. I'm not even gonna try manually writing it. It's harder. Manually writing out the symbols, I would assume. Uh, it said that Uishi found the scene, so what did the doctor do? Yeah, okay, yeah, that was something. The section of like in the game, because they didn't find the syringe. That was the thing. They didn't find the needle. And that part about the syringe, because Keiichi did write something about, here's this syringe that will help your investigation, and then he taped the syringe to it as well. And then in that last part, they're like, it looks like there was something else taped to this note, and on top of that, the part that was not there anymore, the part that was ripped out, was the part where he wrote in, take this syringe and use it to help. So whoever, I think that's what probably that's what the doctor did. I could have about 500 messages to go through. Jeez, yeah, there's no way. My voice is already like getting there, but did Oni Kikushi get you hooked? Oh, I was in it for the long haul. I already have all 8 chapters and I think one like side thing. It came in a bundle. I've been wanting to play this game. I've been wanting to go through it for 6 years ish. I'm in. Like there was no doubt that this was going to be something that I'm completely fully investing myself in. Yeah. And what are your thoughts on how this will continue? Now read all our messages. So I guess like I've been very open about this. I did see the anime like a long time ago. That's what essentially sparked my initial interest in it. So, but there's so much more to this, and like I don't remember Keiichi clawing his own throat out like the end of this one. I don't remember that happening in the anime, so obviously there's huge chunk, which seems like something I would absolutely remember, but I don't remember that. So there's huge chunks of the anime that I'm forgetting that I don't remember like at all. I just remember by the end of the anime, or at least I don't even think I watched it all. I think there was more anime that I never got to. But I remember having a ton of questions by the end. And, like there did seem to be some supernatural thing. I remember it hinting at that. There's a lot of my memory of that missing, but yeah. Man, it's been so long since I've seen it, and yeah. So as much as I like what my thoughts are on how it's going to continue, I feel like I might be able to remember some of it. I don't remember. I don't know why I put an accent on when I just said it was stupid. This was so mild though. This is so mild though. Like this whole Oni Kikushi is mild compared to, oh yeah, there's one of the things that I remember from the anime is something that didn't happen here in this chapter in Oni Kikushi. I won't say what it was, but there's something that happened that has always stuck with me because it was really fucked up. It didn't happen in this chapter. I assume it might be in one of the later, like 3 or 4 or something. I have no clue. But yeah, no, this was pretty tame for like what I remember seeing when like the stuff that's stuck with me, like in that fucked up way. But yeah. Also, Arc 5 is entirely in the perspective of a female, so good luck. Oh, great. Awesome. Love that. I don't know, I'll probably just use my voice into one of these or something like that and just have it be weird like that. It's fine. Shoji is the complicated chest. Yes, okay, yep, yeah. I know Go is another one, but yeah, Shoji, yeah, that one's it. I forgot about that one. You absolutely right. Use the voice shader from Wakanda on GitHub, and I got something that sounded like a genuine female specimen. What voice changer are you using? I'm using Voice Mod. And they just got the anime girl ones, the ones that I use for Mion, Satoko, and Rika are like new, and I do think they sound the best. The one that I use for Reina is probably the worst sounding one in my opinion. But yeah, I use Voice Mod. So what is hold on, I'm gonna put that one you put in there. I want to look that up just as an option for maybe an alternative. Ooh, is it? It's a voice shader. Ooh. Okada. Oh, I said Wakanda, didn't I? Whoa. Oh, okay. Okay. I pulled it up. I will look into that. We'll see. I'll test it out, and maybe if it's better than Voice Mod, I will move over to that one and just change the voices completely for the next chapter. I started learning Japanese 5 times. Oh, Jesus. 9 in high school. Yeah, for Rika and Satoko, because that was one of the things that they mentioned, was that they, in Hinamizawa, maybe you explained it, but yeah, they mixed all the grades. There's only one class. There's only one like classroom, and they mix all the grades and all the ages together in that one class because there's so few children. So they all just meld. They're all together. So I guess, yeah, maybe that's wrong. So Keiichi would be in high school. I thought, age wise, and then 9 they would not. They would be elementary school or whatever. I don't know the ages of kids. Maybe in elementary, right? That's 9. When you go to middle school? 13, 14, 17? I don't remember. Then why not take the entire note? At first I wasn't sure what you were talking about, but yeah. The note, they only took the part of it that said something about the syringe. Yeah, you're right. That's weird. Why not just take the note? Why only the syringe? That is a very good question that I will have to contemplate at a later time. Damn. I didn't even think of that, but great question. How do you claw your own throat? Like this? Something like that? Until it, falls off or something, whatever. I don't know. There weren't any pictures here. Might have to go to the anime to see exactly how it happens. I don't remember it, so I don't know if they show it or not in the anime, but whatever. That is episode 4 of the anime, though. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that has stuck with me from the anime is probably in, the later chapters. Yeesh. Can't wait. I can't wait to get to them. I can't wait to uncover some stuff. All that stuff. I don't know the anime. That's okay. You don't need to, because we're gonna go through the visual novel. This is the original. This is the experience that was intended. The anime boils it down too much. Also, anime is more horror with blood and gore, while the VN is more atmosphere and mystery. Yeah, I figured that. I kind of got that feeling too, because yeah, the anime, again, a lot of the stuff that sticks with me from the anime is the most horrific shit that happened. God, I wish I could say it, but it's kind of a spoiler. And I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, when it's just the images, when it's Reina getting close up with the face, when it's those weird eyes, that's creepy. Well, that actually was very off-putting. when it was Mion, and she was talking to herself, and then just those eyes came on screen. That's part of why I don't have my face cam on as I'm doing this. It's just I'm this came up. I'm like, oh god, that's creepy. I don't like that. I felt very unsettled. But anyway, I crammed everything from Onikakushi in 4 episodes, so just 2 hours. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I don't want to watch it because they'll spoil the game, right? Yes, absolutely. Like I said, this is the way to do it. God voice mod is so hilariously bad. It's yeah, they're using AI. I don't know if the one that you suggested does that, but like these ones that are
Like decent. Like these are the best ones. Is Rika-chan. This is a AI voice. Same with Neon here. This is also AI powered. Anime, and then
Satoko's, this is also an AI helped voice. However, Raiden. This one, they don't have any other. This one is not AI helped.
it's not AI powered for Reina, and it sounds the worst because of it. But like the thing is like those other ones that are AI powered, like there's not a ton of expression in them. Is the thing that kind of that I've listened to, and I'm like that's the thing that bugs me the most about it is like they sound fine, as like voices that are that are changing that sound like girls. They do sound like anime girls, but like there's no emotion. You can't really convey much emotion in them at all. It's very monotone, and that was kind of my that's my biggest problem with these voices. So I will absolutely look at the one that you suggested. Discord server with voice models. Okay, yeah, I will absolutely look in. People train them yourself, so I even tried cloning Rika's voice and using that model. Oh, my GPU, it isn't good enough for that. Damn. Okay, I'll look into it for sure. I appreciate that suggestion. I'd never heard of W. Okada. I'll say. I'm just gonna say Wakata. When you're 9 in elementary school, right? What is the difference between high school and middle school? Help. Middle school here in the States, I don't know how it works in other countries, I guess. But yeah, for us, it's like grades, like kindergarten through 5th grade are elementary school. 6th grade, and like this also kind of varies throughout the States even. 6th grade through 8th grade is middle school, and it's like it's a completely different school than the elementary and the high school. And then high school is grade 9 up until college, right? So usually 9 through 12 is what it is. But again, the high school is completely different from the middle school. Like they're all that differences. Yeah. First season crammed arc 1 to 6, with season 2, 7, and 8 parts of 4 that they cut off. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. But those reaction would be so good. Like me just being like, oh god, fucking whatever. No, the whole point of me like not being on screen and using voice changers, like is for me so I can get into like the voice acting and stuff. I am very self-conscious about the faces that I make and stuff sometimes. Not when I'm playing like regular horror games or something. If I'm gonna, whenever I get around to playing, Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, face cam all day, so you can see me horrified. But with this, it's more like you said, like mysterious, atmospheric, or whatever. I want to like focus more on that, like the mystery, suspense element, the immersion into the story is what I would prefer with something like this. Whereas again, Poppy Playtime is a horror game, right? It's as scary as boo, and you go and then that's the fun of it. But yeah. Anyone seen The Thing, old horror movie? Yeah, I have it. I own it. It's right over there. I covered it on my main channel, Brain Dead, youtube.com/@braindeadhorror. You can watch my video on that. Actually, it's really good. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever. It's one of the best horror movies ever, in my opinion. Yes, love that movie. Lakota is also AI that runs locally, but people know what they're doing. Perfect. Love to hear that. They know what they're doing. My friend got a voice in Wakota that even though he is male, sounds perfectly like a normal girl from pitch expressions and even not being able to sing. Even and they can sing. That'd be funny. There's some stuff like that. Oh wait, oh they got some new. What is this? They got some new voices that I haven't looked at. What is this? I don't. Anyway, there's a lot of bullshit on that. Anyway, I would love to see your facial reactions. Well, I mean, they also probably won't be that fun because, like a lot of times, I'm just kind of sitting here staring at the screen, just like reading and like trying to like voice act and stuff. And like this is like basically this is all you'll see most of the time is me just going like this and maybe like swaying back and forth or like checking chat or something, you know, just glancing over at chat or something. Like there's not much here in terms of like facial stuff. Like with that one thing with the eyes, it's just like, you know, it's just like okay. And then there's a lot of me sitting like drinking, muting myself and then taking sips. There's a lot of that too, so whatever. Because we have elementary school, middle school, and something else. Same with us, but yeah, we have elementary school, middle school, and high school. Those are the three, and then after that, it's like higher education is college stuff. But college is for dorks. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I have a degree, believe it or not. But yeah, since Arc 6, they actually changed the arcs in the anime. So they are anime-only arcs? Okay. Well, maybe I'll check that out after I'm done with all 8 of these games. I don't care that much. I want to go through the, like, as much as the anime got me onto this, I don't care. I want to go through this. This is the way to experience it. This is the probably more than likely the best way to experience it. But yeah, and probably I'm just assuming because that's usually how it goes. But yeah, the birds in the background. Oh, they're cicadas. They're very yeah. I hate cicadas. They're gross, and I don't like them. I don't like how they look. They sound. I like how they sound. They're very calming sounding, but ugh, they're gross. They're gross little bugs. Anyway, the pop filter. Is my pops my peas, or is it just like as I adjust it? Because I adjust it a lot. And I know that makes like some creaky noises. It's weird. I can still see the dread in your eyes. Yeah. When I'm freaking out at something, if something creepy like eyes come on screen for a second, the anime only arcs are slight variation though. Okay, so yeah, I think still the plan I guess at this point would be to get through all of these and then maybe I'll just rewatch the entire anime. You know, may as well if I got time. Once I get through all of the chapters, chapters of the visual novel, then I'll probably check out the anime, watch the whole thing again, even though I didn't even watch the whole thing when I first watched it. Also, the VN is 8 arcs, but there are more 12 extra arcs which aren't exactly canon, but a lot of details and alternate endings. I believe, I looked into that. I only have the initial 8 and one side arc that I don't remember the name of. I have it all in my Steam collection though, if I can find it. Where the what? Oh, When They Cry. There it is. Yeah, so chapters 1 through 8, and then I have Ray, the Higurashi When They Cry Ray, which is like a side thing, spin-off sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's not a part of the main, though, as far as I can tell. Anyway, yeah, dang, that's a lot of extras. Oh, yeah, that's right. They have the When They Cry Plus. I think that's a completely different thing. Okay, yeah. I knew about that. I just, didn't know how much there was or what that was about. If it was, like, worth going through, I guess. Also, the OG anime, the new anime, the old manga. The new manga, which diverts from the new anime. A few spin-off mangas, and the Umineko, which took me 120 hours on my first read. Jeez, yeah. Yeah, these are huge. Again, this is only chapter 1, and it took me 7 2-hour-plus streams to get through. So we have 7 more of these things to get through. So it's big, it's long, it's very interesting though. With a couple of extra arcs. One of the extra arcs is of Higurashi is Saikoroshi part, OG Higurashi, right? Which is considered chapter 9, so semi-official name. Okay, so maybe I will go through it. Maybe we do have 9. Ooh, okay. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. No, jeez. That's, yeah, okay, we'll tack that on. We'll tack that on. I have it. Ray is here. I have Ray. It's on there. If it's semi-main, then that's good enough. I'll tack it on. May as well. I may as well. Not like I'm upset about that. Wait, was this with Restream Twitch or not? Yes, it was supposed to be with Twitch. I don't know. Twitch people. I haven't checked on Twitch in a while. I don't usually keep an eye on you guys. Yeah, I am still live on Twitch. Sweet. This was a restream though. Yes. My friend has been reading Umineko for 3 years and it's almost done. Ooh. Nice. Like, it's almost complete, I assume you mean. Umineko is per word count as long as all Lord of the Rings, plus The Hobbit, and all that times 2. Jesus Christ. Umi took 9 months. Wow. That's a lot. That better be an interesting-ass story. They better not have any low points whatsoever in that story. I swear to God. It's too long. My friend is named Umi. Oh my gosh. What a coincidence. Funny. Very, very funny. Anyway, I need food. Oh God, it's very much past my eating time. Anyway, but that's it. I got to get out of here and eat, I think. I'm gonna go get food, this is probably what I'm gonna do. It's almost as long as Umi in word count, by the way. Oof. Or did I say friends? I meant brother. Huh? Okay. Anyway. Something about friends in there. Yeah, okay. But, that's it. Let me see here. I know, Ray, you've been here like this whole freaking time. Thank you so much for being here. I need to go take my exam in 5 hours. Get some sleep, Witch. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you sticking around and in all of your insight and whatever. Hopefully I'll be back on Monday. I stream Mondays and Thursdays if you're interested. Yeah, I'll be back on Monday and we'll be going through the tips of this straight up. Other than that, thank you. I know I left FNAF and Charlie was here for a little bit. I didn't get to talk to Charlie much. And I didn't see anybody else as far as I was looking off. I don't believe I saw anybody else, but anyway. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. Thank you for being here, though. I appreciate it very much. And I hope you have a good weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on Monday. I was about to ask for schedule, French. Nice. Yep, Mondays and Thursdays. same time every day, 3 p.m. my time, which was 3.5 hours ago. So, anyway, hopefully I'll see you then. But until next time, bye. Thanks for hanging out. Goodbye.